welcome to the show tonight. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Those in the back and those who are watching. All right. So I just want to welcome everybody to another episode of Black Men Unfiltered Network's Flipping Tables with your boy BMU, and Lit is in the building tonight. We're about to have a great show tonight. You see the title of the show tonight, The Jailbird is Winning. Is he winning? I think so. We're going to have that conversation tonight, along with the wine of the night. Every week, we always start out with the wine of the night. We have the wine connoisseur in the building tonight, the president of the I'm just kidding. Anissa is in the building tonight. We're going to bring her up and get the wine of the night. Get your pen, get your paper, be a participator and not a hater. All right, those are bars. Anissa, we're going to bring Anissa up, and then after that, we're going to get our intro, and then we're going to start flipping tables with your boy BMU and Lit. Here we go. Anissa, come on up, shoot.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. So tonight we have a second selection by House of Brown. Last week we looked at the Rosé. Tonight we are looking at the Chardonnay. So we talked about last week that House of Brown is the sister label to Brown Estate, which is the first Black-owned winery in Napa, California. So the sister label is House of Brown, and each wine is produced by a woman of color. So Chardonnay is one of the most popular and versatile white wine grapes. It can yield a variety of flavors and styles depending on how it's made and where it is grown. So tonight's Chardonnay has notes of guava, pineapple, green mango, and lemongrass. The longer it sits in the glass, you can taste a little honey and a little peach. I personally prefer this as at room temperature because I think that you can taste the notes a little better. This is very crisp and very clean, and this is great for spring and summer. So cheers, House of Brown Chardonnay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it, House of Brown Chardonnay. Hold it up for the crowd. All right, keep in mind that Anissa with this
I love the bottle.
With this pretty smile, she will talk to you and lay with you for a while. She's single and ready to mingle.
Oh my God.
She'll get on the roof and shake.
I don't know about all that, but
give Anissa a hand clap of praise tonight. Come on, give it to her tonight. Everybody just clap your hands for Anissa. She's in this thing tonight. We appreciate you, Anissa. Thank you so much for being here and giving us the wine of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Flipping Tables with BMU and Lit. We're about to get this show started right about
Hey, this burns me, man.
You can hear when the boy popped his lips, man.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I got my boy Lost in Translation in the building. You know what I call Lost in Translation? The velvet voice of YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. When Lost in Translation speaks, the bed springs squeak. All right. So let's go ahead and get Lost in Translation. Bring everybody up to the panel tonight. Lost, who we got in the back tonight? We're gonna bring them up, and then we're gonna get to the chat. What's going on? Talk to me.
What's happening, man? How you doing today? First, let's go ahead and get to how you doing. I'm gonna say how you doing first, Black man.
Man, you know, I'm sunshine, partly cloudy with a chance of rain. I'm happy. I'm honeymoon happy and peacock proud to be here with all you beautiful faces in the place tonight. Oh yes, come on down.
Yes, indeed. Well, first of all, we're going to bring up our lovely wine guest who had the wine of the evening first. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only Anissa. Thank you, Anissa, for joining us this evening. The next
Hi,
person we want to bring up,
everybody.
how are you?
I'm lovely. Thank you for asking.
Well, good.
Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Now, the
Thank
next person we
you.
want to bring up is our brother from the What We Know podcast. Y'all know him lovingly as JT from the What We Know podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for JT.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Welcome to the show, JT, the man right here. How are you, sir?
Oh man, I'm doing great. I got my two-step, my drink and my two-step tonight,
All right,
y'all.
now.
So that's what we doing.
Take
man.
your time, man. Do that walk, man. That
Yes,
Detroit
sir.
walk, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The next person we'll bring up, y'all know her as Embrace the Grace, where she always has a catchphrase. So I'm gonna let her bring her on up so she can tell you herself. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only Embrace the Grace.
Hey, yes, baby, I got a nice hit, honey. That's called Growing Up in the Projects. 2-piece is flawless, honey. 2-piece is flawless. I still got it. I don't support violence. Take Heed does not support violence. Okay. Take a picture, write it down. I don't give a fuck. You hear me? Do what it do. This is Take Heed to the motherfucking message. I'll block all foolery.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only. Take heed to the message. Yep, y'all know him as Father Time. And we love him. And we know him as the one and only R-Pain. Put your hands together.
The man
R-Pain, how are you today, sir?
All right.
The man who put the swaddling clothes on Jesus right after birth. Truly, the man,
listen, man. You ages, all you guys, man. Age discrimination.
The 10 Commandments. Give it up for yours truly. And the Nathan to David, as he was with Bathsheba, give it up for R-Pain. The man who helped build Noah's Ark. Give it up. The man who made the garment that was touched. Give it up for R-Pain. Oh my God. Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, the president of the 7 Bs. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and the only Mr. Bennett.
Good evening, everyone. Good to be here tonight. It's a pleasure to share the stage with the bold and the beautiful, beneficent, benevolent Ball Brotherhood of the BMU Network. Shout out to the Follically Free. Looking forward to a good conversation tonight.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, first of all, we're going to go ahead and get the how you doings out the way. First, we're going to start with JT. JT, how's your week going so far, sir?
Busy as hell. Busy as hell. I have not stopped yet, man. I'm getting myself ready to get down here to New Orleans for my daughter's we got a couple more weeks for her graduation. She's graduating from Xavier.
Congratulations, sir.
Xavier University. It's crazy, man. We went from graduating from elementaries for both our kids, graduating from junior high for both our kids, graduating from high school. Now our last baby is graduating from college. We got both of them out of there, man. It's beautiful.
Oh, yes, indeed it is. I know you glad of that, brother.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm proud of my daughters, too, man, because they actually getting out here and they doing what they supposed to be doing out here.
That's right.
With all the flaws and everything. But my daughters, I want to be one of those fathers to be like, not my daughter. not my daughter. So far, they doing well, man.
Thank you. That's good, man. Anissa, how are you this evening, darling? How was your week going so far?
So far, so good. I was off today. I got absolutely nothing that I wanted to get accomplished today, but it was a good day nonetheless. I'm doing well. Thank you.
That's all right. We're glad to have you
The
here.
whole thing just escaped me. I don't know what happened.
That's all right. It happens sometimes. It
does. Yeah.
You say the old man just hit you. What happened? Was it like?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay,
you heard what I said.
If you need some help, Nisa.
Don't start. Don't start.
Blink if you need help.
Hilarious. Embrace the grace. How are you this evening, darling?
I'm good. I'm good. I had a rough day yesterday, but just knowing that I was going to do my show last night and my faith in God just kept me going. I had to take my son to the ER, but he's good. He fainted and bumped his head at school, and they didn't even call fire rescue. They just sent him home. I'm like, what?
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's good. It's just they did everything. They worked up blood work, everything. It's just he's not dehydrated. He just fainted, and but
Was he
he's good.
standing? Was he standing for a long
He
period of
said
time?
he got up really fast and went to go talk to his teacher, couldn't catch his equilibrium, and then he just blacked out and fell and bumped his head. And I used to be a coach. I know about concussions. You're just not gonna not get him checked out, They didn't even call fire rescue. I'm like, wow.
You sure didn't have an earache or something that might be affecting his vertigo?
He was good. They checked I took him to the ER. I'm not playing with my baby, but he's good. He didn't ate 2 pies, a large pizza when we got home, so he was good. 2, not 1, but 2.
So he put him down.
Glitch. That's all. It was just a glitch.
Yeah, it was.
hungry.
Well, he's good now, thank God.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's what I'm talking. I'm glad to hear that. Glad he's doing well. Take heed to the message.
He was just
He was just hungry, man. That's all. He's straight now. He just had to eat a little something, a little snacky poo. That's all, Take heed. How are you, ma'am?
Well, it's been busy. Yeah, I know since my mother-in-law has been called on to glory. So been more attentive to my king, even though he's telling me everything is fine, but just being more attentive. He told me, you smothering me. I told him, listen, I just want you to know I'm here. And then our eldest daughter, she's getting ready for graduation. So we're doing prom, and she's getting her dress made in Nigeria. So, and the dress came out beautifully. They sent us the video. So it looks amazing. So she's going to look like a queen when she step out of here. And so
long as it ain't Black David Incorporated making that dress, it's gonna be good.
No, we got a professional teller.
Like David had little goats hanging off the edge like French.
Let me put the button on.
We'll be dancing with the goats.
So we just busy, that's all. We just busy. I just want to have, put a little extra love on them. I'm always, attentive to my husband anyway, but I'm just want to put a little extra. He always tell me he don't need it. You know how y'all men do. I don't need it. I'm fine. But when you lose your parents, and he lost both. He lost his father about 10 years ago, and then now his mama. So that's a lot on somebody. But my king will never let you see him. You always have to go up to him and just hug him a little longer.
Yeah, you doing right. Give him that little extra. Even though he say he don't want it or need it, he need it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hard for us to take that extra from our woman, but you make sure you keep giving it to him.
Okay? Oh, I will.
Well, good. Our Payne, sir, how's your week going so far?
Hey, well, it's after tax day, so everything's good.
You ain't had to stand in line with the rest of the folks, did you?
No.
The folks down in Atlanta was standing in line 4 blocks trying to get that check, man.
No, I always do my I can't stand it though, man, but I do it.
Indeed.
So now that it's done, everything's good. This is a good week.
Health is good. Everybody's good, man. Family's good.
Yeah, everybody's good. Family's good. Everybody's hanging in there.
Well, good. Glad to have you one more time. And last but not least, Mr. Bennett, sir.
Yes,
Great
sir.
show you guys had Sunday, man. Great show.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, really love the conversations that myself and Grooming and Reviews have on Sunday nights. Very insightful. And so it's just a good place for good conversation. So really appreciate the platform. And thank you, certainly, Black Man, for providing us with that opportunity. So, really appreciate you for that. But week's been good. As our Payne said, yes, got through tax season on a positive note. So, certainly happy about that. Staying strong, still lifting heavy and, getting good numbers and just trying to stay ahead of the game. That's all I can do at this point.
Appreciate it, man. Watching y'all Sunday, man. Y'all gonna have me back in the gym, man. I gotta go get some blood work done first.
Hey, man. Oh, and Bikers, you guys gotta. All I say that to everybody: watch what you post because I don't know where Black Man got that picture from, but obviously he's been scrolling the back my pages and whatnot. So he went and found that picture. I took that picture when I turned 50. I got that shirt specifically for that picture on my birthday. So I don't know. So he's been lurking in the background. So if you got any content out there, be careful, because BMU, he may be putting it up and putting it on Embrace. You got any pictures?
And don't tell you.
He may put it out there, and before you won't know until showtime. It's like, oh my goodness, where that picture came from. So I'm just saying, you be lurking, man. So just be on the lookout. Clean your pages now. Been embarrassing.
Yeah,
Scrub it down.
I'm gonna get with you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, everybody. Listen, something I'm over here in the background for a reason. There's something going on with YouTube, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too.
I'm looking at it, and YouTube is kicking shows on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. And that's why the number keep dropping, right? Because it's at 0 now. It was at 10, dropped to 0, 10, dropped to 0. So I don't know. We're going to keep it going, but I'm just wanting to make y'all aware that something's funky is going on YouTube right now.
Not just YouTube, it's Instagram too acting crazy.
Oh, it is?
Tonight,
yeah. I think it's the servers or the towers or something that's going on.
We know what it is, man.
Y'all know what it is.
Yeah, you know
they're trying to keep from.
You got a few more months. You can blame it all on. Few more months. Blame it on Trump.
Yeah. And why Joe Biden? Joe Biden probably hit the button and forgot. Shit, Joe Biden, did you hit that button? What button?
What, you mean this button?
This button right here? No. Literally, seriously, he said, y'all not black if y'all don't vote for me. Ain't that what he said?
That's what he said.
Well, hell, y'all ain't saying if you vote for me. That's what his new slogan need to be. That motherfucker gone. He crazy. He gone. He got dementia. This motherfucker, he don't even remember he got a shit. Okay. Welcome to the show tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Even though we're having the YouTube storm and all the other storms that are coming in through the networks tonight, we're gonna rock out anyhow. I did want to say this though. We got some videos tonight. The first video came from our sister, the president of the NA. Anisha is in the building. Amen, everybody. Man, president of the NA is here. No Accountability Association. So I wanted to play a little video that she sent me about when men say that there's no successful black women out there. They are there, is what the beautiful Anissa says. Smile real quick, Anissa, for the crowd. Oh, here come 3, 2.
Look at that pretty smile.
Those are not dentures. Those are beautiful teeth now.
Bless her soul.
Bless her heart. Now we're going to go ahead and play this video that Anissa sent me. I'm going to go ahead and play it now. Just a sec. Look at this shit.
Property management, project manager, physical therapist, emergency medicine resident physician, internal medicine resident physician, OBGYN resident physician, emergency medicine resident physician, OBGYN resident physician, dermatologist, lawyer, OBGYN resident physician, lawyer, flight attendant. I'm a city girl live from Miami.
There's always one.
You got to have at least one height person. You know what I'm saying?
That was good. That was good.
From Miami.
Oh, God.
Explain this, please. I'm trying.
I love that.
Can you help us on this?
Well, the reason I sent it is because week after week, night after night, I have to listen to, there's no good women out here. Oh, they hood rat, they ratchet, they this, they that. And I was like, I just saw that somewhere and I sent it to you. But I was like, look, these are a bunch of beautiful women that are accomplished, probably have their act together. Like, you don't have to start at the bottom. You don't have to select at the bottom. You can start somewhere and then build from there. It was just an example to say that there are amazing Black women out there. And if you can't find them, then there's something that you need to change in your life because they exist and they're out there.
Now,
That's all.
education don't mean shit.
I was hoping somebody would tell her that. They could be ratchet at the top.
I don't know these women, so obviously I can't attest to their character.
Let's go back
but
to
at
them.
least, it's a starting point for the men that just say they can't find, any women. That's all.
Let's go back through them then.
Property management.
Property management. You seen her? Let's go back. Let's see what she look like. That's property management like that now. Okay, she got a nice chest. I don't know about the rest.
They also got a genre in porn for property management. It's called like property. The women of property management.
She said property management. Now, none of these women said anything. The only person in this group told the truth is the Miami chick. And I can appreciate when a woman tells the truth. She told not her truth, not they truth. She told the truth. She said, "I'm a city girl from Miami," and the rest of them, they gave you their job titles, but none of them said anything about they wanted to be a wife. Matter of fact, I was looking at half of their hands, and 98% of them are not even married, or even look like they're engaged. But let's go back through it again. Here we go. So this property management right here, sister property management. She's cute. She's cute. Yeah, she is. Okay, let's continue.
Property management.
Project what? Project manager. Okay, we don't. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the projects or a project?
No, project man.
Okay. I know. All right. Now I did also want to notate that there's enough weave in this video to start a outdoor store in South Barbados. Okay, so listen. I'll say she's property management, right? Here we go.
Project manager. Physical therapy.
Physical therapy. Okay, so if your knees go out, fellas, she's there for you.
I'm a PhD.
Emergency medicine resident physician.
There you go.
Internal medicine.
Oh yeah. Internal medicine. Yeah, she ready. She ready to cuss a nigga out. Now this next one, they should have left her out. She's a little seasoned. Salt.
A little older.
Yeah, she's more for somebody like Clement. Is Clement in the chat?
Yeah, he down there.
This is Clement's wife.
Resident physician. OBGYN resident.
OGBCYN. That's she said it. Okay, then next.
Emergency medicine resident physician. OBGYN.
Now y'all do know who that is, right? Y'all looking at the screen? Y'all know who that is. All right, they cleaned her up pretty good. Okay.
No, you didn't.
They shaved her real good. Okay. All right, here go Lizzo's sister coming up next. Here we go.
Resident physician. Dermatologist.
Oh, well, she is cute now.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
She cute. She like she stabbed a couple people.
She'll fill up a bed though.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Okay.
OBGYN. We don't know if this is now this is right here. This I don't know if this is a man. I'm next.
Physician. Lawyer.
Flight attendant, she said.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Lord, yeah. Old Yellow told the truth. Come on in, Yellow.
I'm a city girl live from Miami. I'm a plastic surgeon, resident physician.
Now, what do you guys think? What do you guys? I'm gonna start with the ladies first. Take heed. Do you think these women are wives, or do you think these successful women could be great wives by what you've seen so far from this lineup?
I'm gonna share something with you.
Come on, baby. Talk to us.
Actually, every melanated sister can be a wife. She can. But the problem is she has to have a mindset change. If she can get a mindset change, she could be a wife. But because we have been conditioned to think that we are better than our men after we go to school, right? And we get a little something under our belt, we get indignant instead of understanding that you add value. But since we don't understand that part, we get up here and we get indignant with our men. Oh, I'm better than you. I have more than you. I went to school longer than you. I have all these things that you don't have. But the one thing that you miss, baby, is that nobody coming to marry you, honey. With that attitude, nobody coming to marry you. That's the thing. Now, I applaud all the young women because I'm happy that they all have amazing jobs. I'm careers. I love that. I love that. I got to give it to them for that. But with all those careers come attitudes. With all those careers come entitlement. I'm better than you. And now I'm going to share something with you. And this is sad to say, this is going to hurt a little bit. In our community, our girls are like this. But if you go into a different community where all the women have amazing careers, they will go be with somebody who is a construction worker. And they will build the dynasty together. Only some of us in our community understand that, because I can't say all of us. Some of us understand that we got to build together. But for those young women right there that I saw, they one of those ones I always talk about on my show. I got 10 men in my DM. I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? They one of those that will get up here and tell you, I don't need you. And then when the man stopped checking for them, because our brothers is tired. They like, no, we're not, I'm not gonna be checking for you no more. So now when our brothers start checking for you, then you got them on social media crying, talking about there's no men, black men don't even want to be bothered with black women no more because of our attitudes. We don't know how to talk to nobody. We don't know how to show any respect. And the sad part is you got to say thank you to grandma and you got to say thank you to mama. That's what you got to say. You got to say thank you to them too, because they taught us this, and I'm gonna share something with you. We ran with it. Even me too. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, "Oh, my mother and my grandmother didn't teach me that," and I just no, they taught me it, and I ran with it. And I'm gonna share something with you. If I didn't make a turnaround in my 20s, oh my God, I'd be up here crying, talking about I need a man, all on social media and everything. But it was because I was like, why can't I keep a man? And I think every melanated woman needs to sit down and think, why can't I keep a man? And really ask this question to yourself. Really think about this question, because you can't keep a man for a reason. Something is going on here, but nobody don't want to talk about this conversation. I'm done.
Now, I seen Anissa say something about assumption. Anissa, can you allude on your position when it comes to these young ladies that you had so eloquently sent me in the DMs?
Well, I think we just have to be careful about making assumptions that just because they have the education that they do and the career that they do, that they aren't wives or that they're entitled. I think you're making a lot of assumptions about people that you really don't know. Again, the basis for me sending the video was because a lot of times on these panels, we hear that Black women don't have anything to offer, and they're not. What are they really bringing to the table? And they're not this, and they're ratchet, and they're this and that. And I personally, I know that is not the. Although those women exist, I know that there are a great number of Black women that don't fit those stereotypes that you guys often talk about on here. And so when I saw the video, I just thought, I was like these are these are smart women. They're educated. They have put the time into developing themselves. Most of them are residents, which means they're still in school. They're at the end part of their programs. And, so who's to say that they can't be wise? We really don't know them. We don't know their mindsets. So we really don't know where they are, but at least that there are women out there that men can choose, and they can determine if they can be a great wife. So you don't have to start at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And and also to address something else, when we talk about women of other cultures, you have to be very careful because although take heed is correct, there are some that want to build, but let's be clear, there are definitely those that are looking for a certain type of man, and so I think that we have to just be honest about that. You have, just like in our culture and other cultures, you have women that will take a man and get with him and build with him, but there are absolutely women in other cultures that are looking for a provider male, and that's what they're going to pursue as well. So I mean, you have all different types of women and all different types of cultures. So I think we have to be careful about making those blanket statements. But I just thought it was a nice video. I don't think you could really tell from the video because everything was pretty much photographed from the right side, so you really could not see, their left hand. But one thing we know, that the bride, the one that was getting married, was a plastic surgeon resident. So, and she was chosen, and she's the one that's getting married. So we don't know how many of those women were married, how many are engaged. We really can't determine any of that from the video.
Now I will say this. Something echoing somewhere.
Y'all mute up.
Yeah, somebody. I will say this though, Nissa. And when you talk about those other cultures, like you said the other night, when you shocked me and appalled me, when you said that those other women they're softer, and all that stuff, right? The women of other cultures, they do want to build. If you just go sit down long enough, you'll see a big old black, ugly Jello pudding, 12 hamburger eat, dog herdler, sheep herding, tractor driver, with one of the most finest white girls you ever seen in your life. I was in the store one day. I said, "God damn, that's your." I'm looking at the dude like this. Damn, that's your girl. Damn, that white girl bad. Whoa, what he did? He did something, and she just sitting up there rubbing the small of his back. You need anything else, honey? So look at this. So I think that other cultures.
I didn't say that they didn't exist. I said, but best believe there are women of other cultures that are definitely looking for a certain type of man. I mean, let's be honest. When you start to look at these athletes, these football players, the majority of those women, who are those women? And
White.
why do you think that they're with those men? And why do you think they're with those men?
They're white.
And why do you think they're with those men?
Because the black girls weren't smart enough to scout them up when they had a chance.
And those women, they look at that man as a provider and they jumped on it. They weren't those men aren't building. Those men they're coming to the table with those multi-million-dollar contracts. And those are the women that they're choosing.
Only 6%.
Now, what I'm saying is you cannot categorically say that every woman from other cultures is getting with a man and building with. There are definitely women that are looking for provider men, and that's across the board. I don't think that's a culture thing.
And the Caucasian culture is married. 71% is married. And African culture, African American.
And some of those women want men who can provide. They're not looking to build.
Anissa, so you telling me it's not enough men?
And some of those women are married to men who can provide. They're not building.
So Caucasian is 71%.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Let me mute up.
71% is Caucasian that are married. 38% in our culture are only married. Nobody see anything wrong with that. That doesn't look right at all. That nobody see anything wrong with that. 80% of us are baby mothers. 80% in our culture. The other cultures ain't even reach 80%. 80% in the melanated community. Nobody see anything wrong with that. Man.
I think we're talking about two different things. What you're saying that they're married, but that has nothing to do with the type of men that they're choosing. What I'm saying is there are absolutely women in other cultures that get with provider men. They're not looking to build. There are women that are looking to get with men that already have the bag. Let's be clear about that. Every white woman or Latino woman is not getting a man at the bottom and building that man. Some of those women are walking right into the man with the bag. That's all that I'm saying.
Yeah, but
I didn't say that they were. I'm not saying that they are, Taki. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
You cannot say that every woman from another culture is getting with a man and building with him. There are plenty of women that are walking into the bag.
Anissa,
they exist, and there are some
Anissa,
women that don't think about
Anissa,
that. That's their choice, and that's what they want, and that's what they go after.
But the better question would be, why aren't black women, those successful black women that you just saw walking, why aren't they with these superstar men?
You don't know who they're with. Do we know? I don't know any of those women personally, so that was not a personal video. I have no idea who any of those women are.
I'm saying women like that. Why aren't
they might be, for all I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Most of those women were pre-med. Most of those women were in medical school. How do we don't know if they are engaged to another man that's in medical school. I mean, I don't know anything about those women. More than likely, you tend to associate with the people that you are around. So they very well could be married or engaged to other doctors and residents and dentists or whatever. We don't know anything about those women. So I can't answer that for you.
So let me say this, Anissa. The Dallas Cowboys, which I'm not a fan, I hope all of them get an ankle sprain. But Dallas Cowboys, they pulled up to the red carpet, and they had it local here when they had the ESPYs. And they pulled up to the red carpet. Every damn near 98% of those men got out the car with white women. All the black players had white women, white fiancés, white wives, white. So I'm saying
absolutely, which means they are not building.
I'm saying
they got a man that's got the bag.
But I'm asking those successful women who are plastic surgeons, all those women who named those categories in that line, why aren't they sought after when it comes to these men who are superior in their jobs or in their skill sets?
Well, I think a lot of it, also a big part of it, is how we position ourselves. I think when you start talking about athletes, I kind of really think that's a totally kind of a different category, because athletes really do things and they move differently. But I think a lot of us really don't position ourselves to be surrounded by those type of men, to be honest.
Or is it just easier to be with the white girl?
It might just be about who they're around. You know, a lot of these athletes, they may have met these women in college. Some of these athletes may have gone to predominantly white colleges. And who are they surrounded by? I went to a predominantly white college, and most of the times when the athletes came, they were surrounded about the greeters for the sports program, and most of those greeters were women from other cultures, and so those were the first women that they interacted with and they got into relationships with. For example, well, I'll say it, I went to the University of Florida, so and like Emmitt Smith, the entire time Emmitt Smith was at the University of Florida, he dated white girls. You know, that is 100% what he dated. But, you know, when he turned pro and he decided to get a wife, he married a black woman. So a lot of times it's just who is in proximity. It's just who's near you. It's who's doing what you're doing. And sometimes we are not in the position to be around those people. Like, you know, everyone was up in arms with LeBron James' son that took a white young lady to the prom. And, you know, why he got, well, I mean, the people where they live, the private school that he goes to, the people that he's around, more than likely he's going to interact with the white young ladies or women from other culture more often than he is a black female, just because that's what's in proximity to him.
Can
I real quick?
Go ahead,
Please. Anissa, I love you so much. You're a very nice woman. Thank you so much.
I love you too. I love you too, Take Heed.
But you're always doing cat though, all the time. It's always cat though. I'm gonna share with you why. A lot of our women miss out because they're not soft. A lot of our women miss out on great men because they don't want to be kind or be respectful. Let's call a spade a spade. I always tell women on my channel.
I think that's a valid point.
Yeah, yes, because let me. I thank you for saying it. I'm so happy that you said it. But I'm saying to the simple fact is that we miss out on a lot of our good brothers because we don't know how to talk to nobody. Even our son, who is 13 years old in his house, he said, "Mama, our women are too hard to talk to. They are too hard to talk to." 13 years old talking about, "Mama, they're too hard to talk to. But the white girls in my school always nice to me." Can you imagine? So when our women sit up here and talk about, "Oh, the snow bunnies is coming to take all our men," right? Let me share something with you. When they say this foolery, y'all got to start looking at yourself. You miss out because your mouth block your blessing. A lot of successful women, they mouth block their blessing. And then they wind up home alone crying, talking about they don't have no men. Your mouth block your blessing. A lot of women miss out on all these athletes because your mouth block your blessing. Because I'm going to share something with you. If a melanated brother, if there was a choice between if there was a choice between us, a melanated sister, and a snow bunny, and everything was on the same playing field, he's going to choose you, my sister. He's going to choose you, hands down. He's going to choose you. But because we don't know how to talk to our brothers, we don't know how to show them respect, this is where the problem lies. But nobody want to talk about that. We just want to say, "Oh, well, y'all just want us to build with y'all. Y'all just want us to build with y'all." Let me share something with you. That's what happened before our time. Our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, all of them build with their husbands. All of them build. Any man that came for their hand, they built, and they built dynasties. But we always forget that part. You know, we always forget that part. And I'm going to share something else with you. There's a lot of women from different races, as we got into the part of different races. There's a lot of women from different races that they don't just have somebody, they walk into their life and everything is already set. Some of them, there's a lot of them that understand the assignment. Ain't no way 71% of them, 71 or 70% of them are married. And they all living like they got it like that, like they rich. Ain't all of it, that doesn't make sense. But here we are, we nitpicking at 38%.
Damn.
You don't have this, you don't have that, and I can't be with you. But if you combine together, you both will build a dynasty. That's the thing that we miss in our culture. I'm done.
I don't disagree with anything that you said. I think that that's a valid point, and I think that also, contributes to it. But specifically, what we were talking about when I was speaking, he was asking about the athletes, and that's why I said I think when you start talking about athletes and men in that class, I think it's different from the average guy. What they're surrounded by, it is different. You can't say that it's the same thing. So that's what specifically we were talking about, but I definitely agree with your point, Tiki.
All right, let's get Embrace the Grace and Embrace your thoughts.
Okay. Okay, that was impressive. They're all professional women, beautiful. But out of all of those women, 1 out of 4 of those Black women would be married. And all those impressive degrees in education is not going to mean anything at the end of the day. Because what matters is legacy, the family unit, your children, what you leave behind, your generational wealth. And I will bet you that most of these women were all single and will remain single because they are so busy trying to make sure that they have a man that are at their level or higher, or degrade men because they're not good enough. And it's sad because I talk to a lot of Black men and they always tell me, Grace, my first choice will always be a Black woman. My mother is Black, but because of the combativeness, the argumentiveness, the lack of wanting to lead, the lack of wanting to cook and clean, they're not going for them. I'm not taking them from y'all. Y'all giving them to the other races. You're allowing them because they're tired of being disrespected, and they're gonna go where they're appreciated, not tolerated, and they're sick of it. And a lot of men are finally realizing that. And in this, I agree with you. That thing with Bronny, he said it. I'm only around white girls. So of course I'm gonna take a white girl to the prom. I agree with you. But the same thing happened with my son, Take Heed. He told me, he came home, he was like, Mom, I'm never dating a Black chick. I don't care. But I really wanted to hear him out. I said, but why? You're half Black. That's half of you. I don't like the weave. I don't like the nails. I don't like the attitudes. They're loud. They're ghetto. I'm like, but you haven't even touched the surface. You're just in school. Wait till you go to college. No, Mom, I don't have the energy. I'm still trying to figure myself out, and then I got to raise somebody else. That's their mama job. For a 13-year-old to come to that conclusion was very disheartening, because I just want he finds somebody that loves and respects him, but he is half Black. And why would he feel this way at such an early age? That's sad. I said, you're making assumptions of the girls that you deal with every day. He was like, no, I'm not, Mom. I go to other schools. I hang out with other friends. And it's like, it's all the same. I'm like, Mom, we live in a predominantly white neighborhood and they still act like that. And it was really sad. And all we can do is hope for the best and talk to the ones that want to change. But them ladies, it was impressive. But only 1 out of every 4 of those ladies will end up getting married. Even with all those degrees, all that money, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. I digress. My mic is muted.
Yeah, and I want to say this before I move to the next person. One of the things that shocked me is that Bill Gates' daughter fell in love with old Black Bob. And he went to Stanford, and I think he has a degree in computer science or something like that. But they on vacation. They in the Bahamas. They're in Egypt. They're traveling around the world on Daddy's private jet. And every picture, that Black boy on that picture like this. He seemed like he's having a wonderful time. So anyway, I want to bring in Kasim. What's going on, man? I want to speak to you first. How you doing today, brother?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm
Sorry,
doing great,
man. There was some issues with YouTube a little while ago,
Yeah.
and I tried to click on, but it said keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. So then I had logged off a little bit, did something, and I came back, so I was able to catch you. This is a really good subject, and I think Grace and Take Heed they're hitting it right on the head, man. I think as Black men, growing up with Black females, not only in the household, but also around us, we see certain behaviors, we see certain characteristics, we see certain attitudes, and we see certain attributes, right, that we have grown accustomed to the point where we get to think that it's normal, just how they are. It's not until you go outside a little bit and you start experiencing different types of women, right? Different races of women and different women in different parts of their life. Then you start to compare. You say, hey, like, you know what? I'm starting to see differences. And then you start to evaluate yourself like, okay, what is going to be the best situation for me to be in where I get the most peace, the most harmony, and the best outcome. And sometimes, you got to really take a hard look at that and say, hey, what do I have a better chance at? I'm seeing different varying degrees of certain women and certain characteristics and certain ways that they move. I'm gravitated to, and she not black. There are certain elements or certain attributes and certain types of femininity that can be cultivated and built up that I like, but she's not black. Right? There are certain things at certain levels that I see myself in my career that I can get to, and I can use this person's feminine insight and her knowledge or intuition, and I think it would really help me for the better. But she's not black, right? So I think black women have to compete, particularly for those men that had done the internal work on themselves. I'm talking about a particular type of man. I'm not talking about the everyday average. I'm talking about a particular type of man that have done the internal work on himself, that has his principles and his values and his characteristics, the one that's ideal for a marriage and for a long-term relationship, who has the right problem solving and the right mindset and the right foresight, that dude that has stability. I'm talking about that guy, that man that can have the pick of the litter. That man is running into these problems. And I believe that if black women don't do the work on themselves and they don't compete with these other women, they're going to continue to get the results that they're getting, and it's unfortunate.
Oh man, man, you said a mouthful, brother. I just want to let that breathe, because I want to. And this, I'm actually a quick question, and then we're going to go to Mr. Bennett. Anissa, the man that you with right now, or you're dating right now, is a great guy, right? You appreciate him or whatever. If there was another woman of another culture after him, would you be willing to compete with her for him?
I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I think what's working in my favor is that he prefers black women. He has pointedly said he does not really trust women from other cultures. So, but I know what I bring to the table. I know what my worth is. I know the value that I bring to someone. So I absolutely wouldn't have a problem with it, but his preference is black women. So I'm definitely thankful and appreciative of that.
All right, Mr. Bennett, you've been listening. You saw the video, but what are your thoughts on what you heard everybody say so far?
The opinions have really been all over, so I guess I can take on little bits and pieces here and there. Right. Just to lead with the video, it's like women oftentimes say they don't like a man who leads with their wallet. Well, similarly, men don't like it when women lead with their careers.
Mr. Bennett, you preaching tonight.
So for me, watching that it's very similar, especially if you want to talk about, now again, if you want to inspire young girls to say, hey, you can be more, you don't have to be the city girl from Chicago or whatever. From that standpoint, I certainly appreciate the inspiration to younger women to say, look, you can try, but you could be more, you can overcome your circumstances. There's nothing wrong with that message. But if the purpose is to show that these women are eligible for marriage, I didn't see anything in the video that necessarily demonstrated that, because men generally had for forever until very recently, it didn't matter what your career was. The only thing we were looking for was, can you vibe with us? So we would marry you if you were the waitress in the restaurant, or if you were the CEO, it didn't matter. Could you vibe with us? That is your number one asset above your money or your title or your education or anything else. So if that's what you're going to lead with, your results are going to be mixed. I do agree with Anissa when she was talking about there's certain women who look for certain kind of men. So I work in the IT field, so I know Asian Indians, for example. If you are an educated woman, you're going to be paired with an educated man. They don't play with that. They do the horoscope thing. They do the family meeting. You have to match. You're not going to have an Asian Indian woman marrying a garbage collector. That just is not going to happen. So there's definitely a compatibility. Now, conversely, if the guy wants more a domestic, if he's successful, I just want a housewife, he can certainly make that choice, but it typically doesn't go the other way around. So there are populations, as you indicated, where your social standard, your caste, your class in the society. A lot of those things matter in those societies. So I don't want that to get lost to say, oh, well, you can just build with everybody. Indians don't play that. And I'm sure there's other ethnic groups that don't play that either. So that's a certain reality. But it does get to this idea of money. And it does get to this idea of, where we are as a population between, regardless of people may clown the concept, Native Americans and African Americans, again, we're at the bottom. So a lot of the dysfunction that we're experiencing has to do with our economic status due to our time in this country. All these other ethnic groups that we're talking about, they came in the 60s and after us. So we can't necessarily compare those cultures. So I think the financial situation, the poverty that a lot of us come into is a major contributor to all the times why we're not getting together. And statistics are showing that we actually have less wealth now. The height of Black land ownership in this country was at its highest and never got any higher in 1910. We haven't owned anything.
Hey.
The rate of Black home ownership has gone down since 1990. So everyone's talking about flexing their careers and all that sort of thing. The things that matter in terms of wealth and building wealth and generational wealth, we're not getting in large numbers. So we can't ignore that when we're talking about the things that are affecting why we can't get together. And a lot of that poverty also manifests itself in the attitudes, it manifests itself in the crime rates and all the bad indicators that affect our community. A lot of that stuff simply boils down to poverty. And there's reasons for that poverty, which I won't get into. But overall, though, yeah, unless we, how we're going to overcome that, there certainly has to be an attitude change. But it's certainly, if I would certainly applaud those women, and I would certainly encourage the guys also. We have to break free of poverty and stop thinking in terms of poverty when it comes to trying to get together. So guys, you need to get on your grind also. You don't have to necessarily go to a 4-year college institution, start your business, get your trade going, whatever you need to do. But we need to certainly have some economic solutions if we're going to, start having some of the cultural solutions that are going to try to keep us together. So I think everyone had a decent point to add. The numbers are the numbers. We're the least married. Black women are the least married out of everyone. And that needs to change. And for those women, if they're going to be looking for men, again, I don't think the supply and demand is going to meet. So in our particular case, unless we change our attitude to say, look, would you take a blue collar man, despite you being a plastic surgeon or what have you? Because the other guys aren't marrying either. We also know that. And even those guys who are marrying Black women, they're not tolerating a lot of what Black men will tolerate. So again, the ones who are picking those women are acting differently. And we see this all the time. A Black woman will act very differently to a white boss than she will to her Black husband or boyfriend or significant other at home.
Mr. Bennett,
and so it's not something that can't be changed. It's not a switch. It's, certainly y'all know how to code switch when it's appropriate. But the mindset needs to change so you can switch that same energy that you give your white bosses and supervisors and all these other people. Just add some of that at home, and I think that would solve a lot of the problems.
Man, so. Mr. Bennett, I just want to say on behalf of the Real Negroes Association, the RNA, you are preaching tonight, because there's so many women out there, Mr. Bennett, who will say before they leave home, "Hey, baby, did you cook me something? You cook your own goddamn food." And the boss on the phone said, "Hi, are you there? You there?" Oh,
they come running.
Here. Hi, Trevor. Good morning, Trevor. Oh my God, did you get that birthday card I sent you? Oh, it is so good to see you. How are the kids? How's Amy? And soon she hit the mute button. Fuck you, nigga. You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely 100% correct. They got these little. I work with some women at my. Oh, Lord have mercy. I know they be watching because I don't care. I know it's some women at my job do the same thing. They'll be online. Their husband will FaceTime them. Damn, I got shit. What's your man? And as soon as they get off, just two different people. I think it's bipolar infatuation.
The code switch is a real thing. There's one last one I want to make, if I could, because I was actually talking to my daughters about that. I got two daughters who are AKAs, and we were talking about just the sort of the history of the organization, or where they see in recent days where the organization is going. And for better, for worse, it's like the standards, like back in the day when you had those, we all know about these early history of these D9s, they were very selective about who they let into the organizations in terms of your skin color,
right?
In terms of your class and social standing, just like you got Jack and Jill and all those bourgeois black associations from back in the day were allowed. It's like, you know, they're letting everybody in essentially, you know,
right?
It's
right.
And so, you know, it's, you know, and you're seeing it in terms of just how the women treat each other, because there is internal stuff within the organization. There is gang wars and turf battles, and you didn't pledge, but they call paper. There's paper, and then there's underground, and that schism between the groups and all the stuff that goes on between folks. So there's a lot of drama. But back in the day, for those, you know, those in those early days of the organization, there was like standards that, you know, of conduct and behavior that was expected in those who joined in all the D9s, quite frankly. But now it's like, you know, I've seen some brothers, you know, alpha brothers, or what. It's like, look, you know, where am I at here? You know, is this a gang meeting, or is this about the best and the brightest, the talented 10th of us that are supposed to be promoting the best in our culture? And again, it's no diss as far as the organizations themselves. I recognize the benefit, what they've done to our community. So anybody who is a Greek or whatever, I'm not necessarily coming down. I'm just saying that a lot of what we're seeing in now today with a lot of these organizations is not certainly your mother's organization or the generations that came before that. There's some standards that are just not being met. And, you know, I don't know how that trend could be reversed. But again, in terms of us being a hook up, because it used to be back in the day, that's how you got married. If you were an alpha, correct. If anyone's a Greek here, if you were an alpha, you typically went with AKAs. I think that's how it used to work. And if you were a Kappa, you went with the deltas or whatnot. But they already had it all worked out. You in college, if you were in a Greek, they kind of had an unwritten kind of thing where, you know, y'all got together. That's how, you know, those social classes got together. You met, you were kind of on equal ground and footing. And that's where you would meet your wife, in that society or in that environment. The Boule organizations before, that's where you met. But where are those orders? Where, even in Jack and Jill, like, you know, are people hooking up in Jack and Jill? Are you going to find your wife? If you grew up in a Jack and Jill organization, is your future wife going to be there? So even our historic Black institutions, where a lot of marriages and just building that legacy was fostered there, we're seeing it less even in our own organizations. The church, obviously, that's not happening there anymore. So it's just a lot of our institutions are failing us in that regard. But I just found that conversation I had with my daughter is interesting.
Yeah, I just want to say this, Mr. Ben, before we move on to our pain. You know, some of my, and since you said AKs, you know, they've been in this world a long time, and some of my most unclean sins is being AK. Oh no, don't you think
it's not your grandmother's AKA.
Okay, Mr. Payne, Mr. Trey in the building. What's up, man? I want to speak to you, brother, before we get to Mr. Payne. What's going on, my brother?
Everybody, how y'all doing?
All right. Now our Payne was there when AKA was created. So I want to get our Payne's thoughts on the whole thing. Art Payne,
happy birthday, Art Payne. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, it's your birthday. You ain't tell nobody.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, he won 10, I think, today. Go ahead.
Well, you know, I changed one of the diapers of the founding fathers of Omega Psi Phis.
I know that's right.
Yes. Hey, listen, first, let me applaud all of those successful, budding successful women coming down that line. Remember now, they were at a wedding of a Black woman. Now, we don't know who she was marrying, but she's a plastic surgeon getting ready to get married, and she still looked like she has some youth left. So, you know, let's applaud the situation. You know, so they weren't at a party. They weren't out there twerking. They weren't doing all that shit. Now, if you ask me, I think the last lady was, well, let me finish. Let me just say this. If you ask me, the last lady was the one who planned the bachelorette party, though.
Yep.
the city girl, she was the one who had the party.
The distant
so
cousin.
they all cut up at that goddamn party. We all know that. So that's why she was there. So that surgeon says, "Shit, you know what? I got to keep one foot in the street." So that's why she had the city girl at the end. But listen, man. No organization, the church, fraternity, sorority, all of us are subject to the programming that we're under, and we see the effects. It's on autopilot, right? Because when we saw the ladies, I mean, we almost automatically started looking at the negative part of that picture. You know what I'm saying? And even though we were playing, a lot of us was playing, it got a little bit back and forth. But why did we even go down that road? It's all part of the program. And if we looked at that picture from a clear mind, we would say, God, man, look at those successful women. And there was a similar picture of all of these black men in suits. And all the hyenas came out and said every negative fucking thing they could possibly say about those men without even knowing one of them. So, I mean, I think the programming that we're under is on autopilot. It just is. And these things are, when we said we need to get back together, we need to fix this shit and this all that, there's a lot of forces against that. I mean, it's all around us. It really is. And even when you say, well, there's a method to that madness, there's a way you could find a wife, because a lot of men are not looking for one. They're looking at the whole big picture, right? You only really need to find a few women in a small circle that you could jive with and find your one. But everybody says there's so many ratchet women out there, you can't find the one like a needle in a haystack. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. It could be depending on where you're looking. So all I'm just saying is I don't know how to fix the shit, right? I don't. I just know that if people don't acknowledge that we are under this social construct that's keeping us apart and it's all around us, I think we miss it. I just think we miss it. And just no freaking way that our women should hate us so much and we should disdain them so much, right? And it's not just YouTube, right? The expectations are just out of this world. And when we're talking about building together, most families used to build together. Yeah, some women waited at the finish line, but that was always the minority because there was never a whole lot of men at the finish line. It wasn't back in the day, and it's not now. It's the lower percentages. How many men are at the finish line? And what is the finish line? Really. So it's just crazy, man. I don't know what else to say. But I applaud those women, and and it was like I said, they were at a wedding for a sister who was getting married. So I look at it from a positive standpoint, and I know they partied and all that shit with the city girl at the end. That's why they bought her. So just leave it there.
Yeah. I want to say this though. You can look at it from a positive, but you could also look at it because I'm at my wedding. I don't need you. If I'm the woman, if I'm the bride, I'm gonna be like, I don't need you bitches doing an infomercial at my wedding about what your job is. Yeah, we here for me. We here for you. Why are you going? Hell, y'all be walking down there with the
She set it up though. That's why she was last.
But
she's the one who set it up.
So I'll give you that. But like Mr. Bennett said, I agree, Mr. Bennett. Most men don't lead with your wallet. Where's your emotional intelligence? Right? And then every one of them led. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna go ahead and go to JT from What We Know podcast. JT, what are your trade lost in translation? And we're gonna move on to the second video. So we're gonna try to move it along. So go ahead.
For sure. JT. All right. So I can guarantee that if you see the part 2 of what they were doing, you would see the groomsmen and the groom doing the same thing. Guaranteed. When you at one of those weddings, and I've DJ'd a couple weddings, I got family members that do it. A lot of times when you have folks especially when you have them and it's built that way, most of those folks all went to the same school. Most of those people, that was more of a wedding for someone that graduated from college and they got married around about the same time that they were graduating. I work on the campus of U of M, right? It's in their culture. You would see the graduation, like during this time right now, they're getting ready for graduation and weddings. So it's kind of like they find their groom at the university, and it's a bunch of them that have been hanging around for, especially like what they specialize here at U of M is law and medicine. Then you have architects, and you have medicine is probably the biggest thing, and then you have arts, right? The arts, they're very big in classical music and stuff like that. But this is what you see also. It's part of it's like their culture. It's like they built their own culture, or they kept the culture going when it comes down to that. Finding your wife and finding your husband at college, have your graduation and wedding at the same time. But I can guarantee there's a video where you have the groom and the groomsman doing the exact same thing, and the last dude probably was a city boy or some shit like that. So I seen what I saw was the humor in it. That's what I saw. I get the angle that we can look at as far as leading with your education. I understand that one, but I don't think that was what they were doing. Me personally, I think that they were, in their sense, promoting Black excellence. That's what I see. I've seen a couple of videos like this already, and that's what I think that they were doing, because they were at a wedding and doing that. Now, if they were just promoting that, you had a bunch of women that was out there doing some hot girl summer, and they all was talking about their damn degrees and shit like that. Hell yeah. But they were at a wedding. You know what I'm saying? So I just seen, that's why I just started laughing when they had the last girl to come in. I just bust out laughing. That's what I saw in that. Now, when it comes down to Black folks, we need some type of positivity that can push us. Even when it comes down to education. I think we've been so sensitized because we just have people that had the wrong ideal, and you have the women leading with their education and the men leading with whatever it is that they can catch the woman with. A lot of times it ain't even fucking money. It's IG. It's the concept where they make you look like they got money. I learned some shit a couple of months ago called Riz in Motion. And it was funny when I heard the young guys talking about it, right? So with the men, what they're doing is it's like everything has flipped. You got the men that's out here trying to act like they have money. They're trying to get you based off of what you see on their IG. If you talk to someone, if like when you're dating someone in their 20s, now it's in their 30s. If you dating a woman, she's not going to give you her phone number. What'd she give you? Her IG, right? And dudes do it now too. It's like they're following the cues of the women. You hear the conversation of the younger generation. They sound like the women now. They're in competition with women to get women or to get sex. So guess what? The women are doing the same thing. It was at the point where women were following the cues of the men. Now it's flipped. The men are following the cues of the women. Now you got men talking about they soft guys. Now you got men that's talking about they want a woman with six figures. You got men saying this. They want the woman to take care of them.
And their nails painted, wearing purses.
Yeah. They're flipping it. So it's getting even. It's like everything is the waters are being more and more muddy. Now you got women saying, I don't want to date men. I'd just rather date my best friend. She's my best friend and she can be my lover. All we need is a rose and a couple of other toys. We good to go. And we can share our kids. And I can be the stepmama and I can be the stepdaddy. However you want to run it. It's messed up. So the dating pool is muddled. We can't even get to marriage anymore because people don't even know how to date one another. That's the craziest part about it. We have to do dating one-on-one now before we can get marriage one-on-one. Now, we can't talk about marriage right now. We need to get you guys to actually know how to understand each other and talk to each other, not at each other, not get on a damn platform and spew your grievances. It's one thing to be able to have a channel like this where we can talk about it overall, but you got people to get on here and they will internalize it. and they talk with so much anger and disappointment. And they argue with everybody on the panel. Somebody got a different way of talking. Guess what they're going to do? Argue with them. Call them out their name. You old. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. This is how we do it. Like they doing something that's actually, is conducive. No, it's not. They're just messing up the message even more now. So at the end of the day, when we're talking about this, we have to start desensitizing. Well, I don't even know how you can say it. We have to look at it in a better way, because I didn't see that video that way, even though I could have. But I've observed a lot of these videos where people are just trying to promote excellence in a fucked up ass world right now. And I end it right there.
All right, Trey, what you got? Then Lost in Translation. We're gonna do the super chats, and
I
then we're gonna move
didn't
to the
see
second video.
the video, so you can skip me.
Okay. Lost in Translation. What you got, my brother?
You know it. As much as you hate Jerry Jones, let me tell you something about what Jerry Jones taught me, man.
Oh,
Jerry Jones said a long time ago, he said, the best ability is availability. Okay. So that means is that if you're not on the field, what good are you? You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. Right. I'm going to share a story with y'all, man. From 2012, I was in the singles group, and we met up over at Papa Do's, you know what I'm saying, for brunch. And we had this long conversation. It was a mixed, conversation, men, women, you know what I mean? All of us the same age, accomplished, that type of thing. So everybody went around the room, wanted to know why, they were single or whatever, and what their particular situation was. Finally got back to a friend of mine. I'm not going to name her name, but the story ends well. I'll put it to it like that. We sat at that table and we talked about her particular situation. She says, I'm dating this engineer. I'm dating this doctor. I don't know which one to decide from. So we started talking about love languages or whatever. And I was like, well, what's your love language? I know you read the book, because that's what we do. We read in the book, reading the group or whatever. And she said her love language was quality time. I said, how does that going to work out for you? I mean, you're going to be with a guy who's going to be busy all the time. Both of these guys, they're not going to serve your purpose. You're going to feel lonely. They're not going to give you what you need. You see what I'm saying? Both of these guys are black. They were accomplished or whatever. So she was like, you know what? You're right. 12 hours later, because we had shut down 2 brunch sessions. Let me tell you how deep this conversation was, because I had to sit down and explain to her that the best ability is availability. You know what I'm saying? So once we had that conversation, went on maybe about a year later, it was time for her to leave the singles group, because guess what? She was getting married. And it wasn't to a doctor, and it wasn't to an engineer or anything like that. And she was an AKA, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the AKAs. And she married a gentleman of Latino descent. You know what I mean? And a few years later, she had a daughter. And I have never seen her more happier than I've ever seen a woman in my life. You know why? Because she prioritized being a wife. She prioritized being a mother. When I see women who do the things that they do, all those women, they were OBGYNs, this type of thing and the other. All of them served women. Those are professions that serve women. My thing is this, how can that actually help your husband? You see what I'm saying? How can he turn that into how that can actually help the family? Well, I'm going to explain to those women, just like I explained to the men in this particular situation, the best ability is availability. Are these women going to be available to be wives? You see what I'm saying? Yesterday, we had a conversation on Humble Dad's podcast. And I explained to him, I said, the problem with a lot of women these days I see is that they have all these degrees, but nobody is majoring in matrimony.
Did you hear what I said?
You understand what I'm saying? Nobody is taking it serious to be wives. Let me explain something to y'all ladies. I go to the cemetery a lot because that's where my dad's buried. And I like to read some of the names and what's on there. Never have I ever seen someone's profession on their tombstone. I've seen loving husband. I've seen loving wife. I've seen all of that, but I have never seen on a tombstone OBGYN. I have never seen on somebody's tombstone project manager. I have never seen on a tombstone a lawyer, attorney, None of that. But I'll tell you what I have seen. I've seen wives and I've seen husbands. Dutiful, loving wife and husband. I had to make sure I checked myself. I went back and checked my grandmother's because she's actually married next to my grandfather in the veteran cemetery. And on his, he has husband. On hers, it has wife. That's it. Let me explain something to y'all. The greatest thing that you can do as a woman is to be a wife. Period. Because no matter what these people decide to take away from you, your profession, your money, your job, your first profession is wife. That's why I tell anybody, man, that's why I'm being groomed and being husband. So no matter what I do, I'll always be husband because husband is enough. Think about it. You have to be counselor. You have to be lover. You have to be provider. You have to be a problem solver. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things. You have to be dad. You know, you have to be a taxi cab driver. You got to do all of this things. You got to be Mr. Fix It. That's enough to keep you busy. You see what I'm saying? So what good am I if I'm always gone? Because that's one of the things that a lot of women complain about. Your dad's never at home. You know what I mean? And when the kids come home, they'll be glad to see their daddy because he's been out working, doing this thing. But I assure you, his greatest profession to his kids is being dad in their eyes. And in the wife, the greatest ability is availability for her husband to be at home. So that's why I tell all the men, let husband be your greatest vocation. Women, let wives be your greatest vocation. Because at the end, all they're going to remember you is who you are and not what you did.
Did you hear what I said?
I release my microphone to the host.
Man, you know, I remember Tony Evans said that too at a conference, a marriage conference. He said,
Okay.
He said, women, it is for you. It is for you. What Lost just said. It is for you. That is your number one job. If you are married, is to be a wife. He said, if anything gets in the way of that, you need to get rid of it. Anyway, I got 2 super chats I want to read real quick. We got Clement in the building. His wife was on the video, so I guess he wanted to come in with the $2 super chat, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. He said they're getting ready to show who has the power. All right. And he sent a $5 super chat and said, screw you, Predator. Even though that she cute, can't do the attitude, man, run. And besides, that's more trait type. They can argue who makes the most money. All right. Thank you for the $5 super chat, man. I'm going to go ahead and play y'all a little something live right there. After that, we're going to go right into the second video. Here we go. Give me some J.
Plus silence. They say big bag.
But him.
I'm on it now. Be cute. For jam. Danye. Remix. You don't be liking what I did. You don't be liking what I said. But it ain't a prerequisite. Whether it works in your head. Yeah. Oh, these 60 seconds of mine. I get to say whatever's on my mind. You ain't even gotta say nothing. Move on and let me carry on. To say what I put on my page, what I wanted to say. I ain't even gotta ask you, and I don't wanna have to drag you. What I wanted to say, but it's mine. What I put on my page is what I wanted to say. Yo, no more, Danye. What I put on my page is what I wanted to say.
We ain't heard him in a long time, bro. I'm glad you came out with some new stuff, man. That family out cold, boy.
Man, J Moss, bro. God,
J Moss is he the real deal, man.
All right, so this video last night, Embrace the Grace had graced us with a video last night that I want to share on today as well, of a father who has snapped on his son because his son decided to go and get his father's gun and brandish it online and post it. And so I want to get you guys' thoughts about how he handled his son when he found out, and how he handled his son's friends as well. Here we go.
Now, come here. Now, come here. Come here. Man, quit playing with me. Come here. These type of kids gonna get you fucked up. That's what I'm saying. These your friends, though. your friend will get your ass beat. If you ever in your fucking life listen to one of them and raise your hand at me, bitch, I will bury you. And bury they dust their asses too. Don't fucking play with me, Dana. This type of shit I'm talking about. These little boys, these little girls, gonna get the shit beat out you, boy. Play with me if you want to. You better choose your motherfucking friends wisely. Cause right now, you bullshit, nigga. Better tell them your dad's not the nigga to play with. I will bury them fucking bitches. I don't care about killing no fucking kids. You better tell them. Before they kill you or before they hurt you, I'll do it. And tell them folks quit motherfucking playing. This shit ain't no motherfucking joke. Fuck wrong with y'all kids. Don't get mad cause y'all dust ass parents don't love y'all like I love mine. Now what? Y'all know where he at. Pull up. Help.
You on mute, black man.
Man, that's tough. I want to start with Trey, because Trey didn't get in on the last segment. Trey, when looking at that, the good, the bad, the ugly, did you get any of that out of that?
There's nothing good about it. I didn't see anything good about it.
Okay.
The bad is that you didn't instill the discipline in your child early enough that you don't have to have those conversations when they're that old. That's the whole point of discipline, is that you start young. You know when I started disciplining my daughter? When I realized that she understood what the fuck I was saying. When I looked at her and I said something to her, she could understand the tone in my voice, the inflection in my voice, and it would shake her. I said, "Oh, you understand me." Discipline started. She was probably 2 when that happened. If this is about a gun, how did he get the gun? Irresponsible parent. Your gun should be locked away in a safe. Irresponsible parent. So I have an irresponsible parent trying to discipline an irresponsible child. The child is taken after the father. The language you use, the demeanor you have, and what you're trying to get across to the child. That kid didn't hear a word you said, especially after you slapped him. Literally, shut down. If you don't know kids, that's how they work. Shut down. He done. He didn't hear a word after the slap. That's not the proper way to do things in this day and age with this level of kids. That might have worked in my time. I was born in '84. So that was probably would have worked with me.
Yep.
Okay, you could pop me upside the head. As a matter of fact, you better put your hands on me because otherwise I wasn't listening. So that might have worked with me. But in the 2020s, the 2010, these babies that was born in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, that stuff don't work with them. You have to find another way. The other part of this is that you need to be more responsible and more intelligent than your child. And he doesn't strike me as a man who is smarter than his child. He strikes me as a man who realizes that he's got an uphill battle with his child because his child is smarter than him, probably more creative than him, probably more strategic than he is. And so he's trying to use street terminology and a sort of a street etiquette with him. It doesn't work. He ain't from the streets. It's obvious he ain't from the streets. He's not from the streets. That's not going to work with him. And the phrase, "I'll kill a kid," well, I think that says all it needs to be said right there. If that's how a father is talking to his son, you talking about putting other people's kids in the dirt? No, sir, not mine. You couldn't do that to mine. I guarantee you couldn't do that to mine, and I'm on record. I don't miss. You can go check the law books. I don't miss. That's not a phrase that I use lightly. That's an honest truth. I don't miss a shot. You can't talk about what you'll do to other people's kids because all of the children are bad influences on each other. What you need to do, if this was JT's kid and this is my kid, I'm going to come talk to JT and say, how the hell are we going to get these boys in line? Because they're feeding off of each other. So let's put our heads together so that we can keep both of our sons out of going to jail. That's the proper way to parent. Not, oh, I'm going to put JT's son in the dirt. What? Because he a bad influence on my kid. I don't know. Maybe my kid's the bad influence on JT's kid. We ever think about that? We have to be better parents. And the only way that the children be better, and I'm saying this coming from a position of I got hundreds and hundreds of calls to go into people's homes and deal with their kids. And what I realized is, and I should say this all the time, the kids are fucked up because the parents are fucked up. I would sit there and look at the kids, and then I would look at the parents and go, well, it makes sense.
I
It
see
makes
what
it makes perfect sense. You're jacked up. And because you can't get your shit together, the kids can't get it together. You're not setting a positive example. And because you're not setting a positive example, they have nothing to look to, so they start looking at their friends, social media, rap music, and all these other influences that take more precedent over their life rather than the positive influence that is their father that's right there in front of them. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's go over to Take Heed. We'll bounce around. Take Heed. What are your thoughts?
So I love everything that Trey said. He on point. He on point. I would have reprimanded the boy, but it wouldn't have been on IG.
Nope.
I would have gotten his ass though, but it wouldn't have been on IG. You feel me? And I'm gonna share something else with you. This is why I always say we have to be mindful of who we allow to bring offspring into this world. I always say this. It means so much, but we don't understand that part. And the father is on some demon time. You feel me? But that doesn't mean that you that doesn't mean you can't be a good father. That just means you have seen some shit and you grew into it or whatever, and you had children. You can always change, but it's the mindset, like I always say. But I agree with the father in the sense of getting him. I would have got him, but it wouldn't have been on IG though. And the boy that he hanging around with, I would get him away from that boy as well and tell the parents like my kid can't be bothered with your kid anymore. They bad influences on each other. You feel me? I would have whooped his ass though. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to y'all. I ain't even gonna sit up here and lie. He needs his ass whooped because that didn't make no sense. He could have deleted somebody else's child and that thing could have went left. He called himself, he could have even deleted his friends, showing it on IG. Cause y'all know these guns go off. You know what I'm saying? And he could have hurt one of his friends in the room while he trying to style on IG. So I agree with the daddy about getting him, but I wouldn't have did it on IG. And I agree with Trey about everything he said. It's true.
JT.
Yeah. It's funny because listening to that father talk to his son in the manner that he did, I understood his frustration with his son. But see, this is the type of father right here that he probably was in them streets himself. It goes to what Trey was saying, that, you can hear how he's talking. For one, I would never refer any of my kids as a bitch, ever. I'm not in the business of embarrassing my child on social media. It goes to the point, just think about this. We've all been teenagers. I was a teenage boy.
Oh, pause for a second, JT. I got some new information here. They say the gun that the little boy had was not his dad's gun. It was given to him by the friends. That's why he was addressing the friends, saying the friends gonna get you fucked up. So the friends gave him the gun.
Yeah. But this is the thing with a lot of us men don't understand. We don't understand our power. This is why we get high pitched and we get to cussing at our kids and shit like that. Man, when you a dude in control and you're forceful, people don't know how to take that. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you have a man that literally is indifferent to how you're gonna be feeling, he don't care about your motherfucking feelings. But at the same time, he's going to move more assertive, right? That's the best move that you can have. You can't be sitting here talking to these young dudes as if they got parents like you are. Their parents is probably even worse than they are. They probably don't even have parents. They probably just cohabitating with somebody that gave birth to them or somebody that conceived them, right? And they probably done had about 3 or 4 murders up under their belt. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. So the whole thing is that he needs to be dealing with his son first and foremost, and he needs to be dealing with his son firm. But he still has to give that boy love. It's kind of easy as a man if we understand how that works. We're indifferent to a lot of things. This is why we can be killers. This is why we can go out there and if we got to get out there in them trenches, it's nothing for us. Once we get out there, we still gonna be scared, we still gonna be afraid. But when you have to do it and it's necessary for you to do it, you're gonna learn how to move a whole different way. That's why a lot of cops are very good cops, because they're very assertive. Their movements are very smart. And they don't take that whole thing of arguing and giving you this whole dissertation on why you wrong. That's not how that goes. That man needed to, first and foremost, stay the fuck off of social media when you're disciplining your child. Secondly, he needs to be very, very attentive to his son. That shit's gonna be tiring. It's going to be very tiring. He's going to have to keep that boy right there up under his tutelage, because that boy could have been in some other shit. These gangs ain't no motherfucking joke. And when you're dealing with gangs that have been going on for decades, understand it's a culture that you're dealing with. And a lot of these folks deal with that, what they call it, PTSD or whatever. I don't know what the fuck they call it, but first time you either murdered somebody or you seen someone murdered, or you've been in multiple shootouts and you see the people out here trying to kill you, it changes your life for the worse. It is a very bad thing to happen. And if you're 16 years old and you carrying a gun and the whole thing is that they looking for me and I'm looking for them, ain't nothing that man can say. He can get shot just like anybody else can get shot. Y'all come here. I got something for you. On social media, they'll probably be like, all right, then, nigga, let me go and get Junebug and them. We about to give it to you. There's stories where parents then got killed by their friend, their sons or their daughters' friends and boyfriends, because they think they doing something. Soon as he put his hand on that boy, the boy just shut down. That's it. He ain't trying to hit nothing. He got anger now.
Right now, and I should have given more context. So that's my fault, guys. So this is what happened. He walked in on his son, Brandon. Somebody contacted this man and said, your son on IG holding up a gun. He went to the son's IG, saw the son was live, walked in the room while he was live, pushed him on the couch, and slapped him upside the head. And he said, as you can recall in the camera, he said, these friends you on here with gonna get you fucked up. So he called his son on IG. He took the IG, left it live, and showed them what he did to him for having the gun that was given to him by his homeboy.
And he also committed a crime on IG. So his son committed a crime, but then dad committed a crime too.
Yeah.
Again, you have to still.
Like that's not this.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We have to learn as men how to move forcefully without having our emotions lead us.
Right.
When our emotions lead us, man, that's how we commit murders. That's exactly how we commit murders. When it comes, that was his son still. At the end of the day, I mean, we don't know what we'll do until we're faced with that concept, with that. But at the same time, I still love my son. So if I'm gonna whoop his ass, I'm gonna whoop his ass, but not on fucking IG. I'm calling the fucking cops then.
Right.
All this shit about to blow the fuck up, because I'm calling the cops. I'm in all this shit y'all got going on. I don't know what the fuck y'all got going on, but I'm about to blow this motherfucker up right quick. Somebody about to go to fucking jail then. You not gonna be sitting here. If I gotta move this motherfucker, I'm getting the fuck up out of there. If he's in a neighborhood and that neighborhood has that type of shit, I'm gonna do my best to get up out of there and remove him from that fucking environment. Period.
I'm gonna go to embrace the grace, but I will say, these boys, whoever got sons, I remember Take Heed said something so profound, God damn it, and I can relate. She said these boys are cubs now, but one day they will be lions.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, when my son tried me, bro, it just broke my heart that this boy that I've raised and I've done him right. I don't treat him bad. Gonna ball his fist up at me and say, it did something to me. I said, I gotta fuck him up.
but black man, that's not abnormal. That's normal in the male like spectrum as men growing up. I tried my uncle and he dropped me on my head. Okay? It happens. You get a little hair on your balls, you get a little hair on your chest.
Right.
You 14, you think you could do something. You lifting weights, you playing sports, you got girls
Exactly.
calling you.
Yeah.
You think you doing it out here.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
I was 17 when I got my calling. Yeah.
And then you get a grown
I got
man
choked the
will
fuck out
remind
too.
you. A grown man will remind you you're not there yet.
Exactly.
So that to me is more of a rite of passage
Okay.
versus what
Yeah,
this
Mr.
man
Bennett said
walked
the
in.
same thing.
Yeah, what this man walked in on with his son. I'm telling you, a lot of what you hear in his voice, he's scared.
Yep.
A lot of
That's
that
what
is
it was.
he
Yep.
was scared.
Right.
He was scared that he walked in on his son like that. And that was his initial reaction. But something as simple as, hey, turn that off. Turn that off real quick. And then you can handle it.
Yep. It's,
All right,
it's
thank you,
just
Trey.
that's when I got choked out. Black man, I'm gonna end this one. But when I got choked out, the scariest, it wasn't the choking that was scaring me. I was already in it. We here now. What scared me was my mama was saying, "Don't kill him.
Don't kill him.
Don't kill him."
Don't,
When she
please,
said,
please,
"Don't kill
Lord,
him,"
don't
that's
kill
what
him.
scared me. Because I said, "What's his intentions?" This
Right.
ain't no
She know what he's capable of.
Yeah, I'm your son. No, you grown now, nigga, ain't you?
Yeah, you grown. Why are you choking? You grown. Embrace the grace. What are your thoughts? Because you presented the video on your show last night. By the way, it was a great show last night, guys. If you didn't watch it, make sure you go back and watch it. But embrace the grace.
The reason why I presented that video was because I had 3 different levels of the importance of having fathers in a son's life. And I'm sorry, I grew up with a gangster daddy. I would react more to that than somebody trying to talk to me nice. Because with these kids today, you can't talk to them nice and put them on timeout. You have to match their energy sometimes. He was doing some fuck shit on social media, then I'm going to respond to you on social media. You think you grown on social media? I'm going to show you that you ain't grown on social media. And I don't agree with him saying about the kids, that wasn't cool. I don't agree with him saying pull up, because now you're being antagonizing. But my dad had weapons all over the house in the cookie jar. We knew to move over that weapon, grab our cookie, and go. Why? Because we feared our parents back then. These kids don't fear us because we negotiate with them. We allow them to think for themselves. And I'm guilty of it too, because I wasn't as hard on my son as my dad was on me, and I wish I was. I was more trying to be his friend, and I was hoping that his father would be the disciplinary one, but I had to do both sometimes. And I'm okay with this kind of discipline because he needed to see how serious the situation was. And no matter how much discipline and how much you teach your children, that is not a guarantee that they're going to do the right thing when they get to this, when they go outside. They are going to be influenced by their friends. You could be teaching them everything right. And all it takes is one, hey man, hold on to this. Hey man, smoke this. And no matter how much you've talked to your children. So with this kind of disciplinary, this is how I grew up. My dad didn't play. If he felt you were doing drugs, he'd have a piss test right at the door when you walked in, pissing his cup for me. He just did not play. He was the law. He was the head of household. You're gonna listen. It's my way or no way. It's these children don't do as we do, and you cannot just be too nice to them. And Trey, I get it. You come from a law enforcement, but the thing is, some of these kids need that kind of discipline because they're not gonna react to this nice shit. This, you were wrong for that. No, man. Sometimes you gotta bring it to them. You gotta scare them straight. You guys remember that show when we were younger, scaring them straight? We don't do that enough to these kids. That's why they feel that they can do whatever they can to us as parents, to other people and other children. So with that being said, I digress.
And can I say something to Embrace?
Let's get everybody out first, and then we'll come back.
Okay. Yeah.
Arpain, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. You listen. I was gonna say I think the father was behaving because he was a little scared. He was scarier than he usually is. Right. I think the son was the way he is because I think he was living up to the toughness of his father. I don't think this is the first time that his father reacted that way about something with him. So he said, hey, listen, my father's an OG. This is how I get my bones. I could be like that too. He was just doing it stupidly, like on social media. So the discipline that he has is probably coming late. I mean, it is coming late, but I think the father overreacted. But like Trey said, I was going to say he was scared, because anything could have happened with that gun. But I don't know. Listen, I don't like the way he disciplined him. Definitely not on social media. Even though he walked in, he should have turned that shit off. But hey, listen, but I don't know whether this is going to resonate with the kid in the future, but I bet you he won't have a gun on social media no more.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate you, man. Lost in translation?
I wanted to hear what Mr. Bennett had to say.
Oh, Mr. Bennett. Oh, you didn't go? I'm sorry, Mr. Bennett. I apologize. Go ahead.
Wow. Again, we're looking at the dam breaking, but we don't look at the structural integrity of the dam. I mean, this is systemic. This is going back to, again, I don't know if the mother's in the house. I don't know what the family situations are. Again, I talked about poverty earlier, but again, you don't just see this type of behavior with other communities, and a lot of it is because of poverty. But if you're in a situation where you have access to guns, access to to violence, and you're trying to raise your kids to be, sort of squeaky clean in these environments, it just doesn't work.
Right.
So again, he's trying to put a Band-Aid on something, but there's a big, a hemorrhage going on structurally in the society, and we're trying to put Band-Aids on it by the quick beating or slapping your kid on line or whatever. And look, our prisons are full of people who got beat up, slapped, and all that kind of stuff. So again, this idea of corrective action, that's going to solve the problem. No, I think there's deeper issues here. But again, it even happens at every level. Last year we were talking about Ja Morant. Here's a guy who, again, his dad, I'm sure, had him involved in every basketball tournament, every situation he possibly could, got to the highest level in the NBA, and yet he still wants to live like a gangster, brandishing guns and doing all this kind of stuff when he doesn't have to. So I think you have so many different forces of at work, and making these impressions on our kids, even adults, that are trying to be something that they're not. So I think part of it, again, the rap culture, the gangster rap culture had a lot to do with that. The dysfunction of our families had a lot to do with that. But this is the problem, and it happens in Native American culture again across the board. We just have a lot of dysfunctions that a lot of other communities don't. And I think there's a systemic reason for that. But as far as this acute situation with his son, yeah, I'm sure there was a better way to handle it. But even better way is, again, if your kid is in that kind of environment, can you get your kid out of that environment? Build yourself up economically where you can live in a better neighborhood, where you're not surrounded by people who can do things like that. I know a lot of people say, stay in the hood or whatever, but if that's going to be dysfunctional for your family, then you may need to get yourself into another place for their own sake and for yours, because again, trying to parent someone in that kind of environment is just difficult across the board. So again, there's just a lot of things just built up, not just this particular incident. There's a culture, there's an environment that has been created, and what we're seeing is systemic of this. This is the only type of thing. This happens every day. And so again, there's larger issues that we need to confront here. And it's hard to judge that in a moment, but it just goes back to that movie Fences. I mean, kind of similar thing here. But that was at the end of the day, he had a weak son. And so all that tough talk stuff, what does that, that really do at the end of the day? So yeah, man, I had a lot of problems with it. I agree with much of what Trey was saying on the issue, but again, there's a lot of problems here that need to be addressed.
All right, we can get him this in there and this. What are your thoughts? You muted, sweetheart. There you go.
Honestly, I don't have much to add to this. I think the men have done an excellent job of breaking this down, and I agree with the gentleman on the panel. I definitely don't think the father should have addressed this on IG, on social media. Definitely didn't agree with that. I agree with the men on this 100%. So my mic is muted.
You all right, Anissa? You feeling okay?
Yeah, she said she agreed. 100%.
You need to clip that. Hurry. Hurry.
She's trying to get on your program, Trey. Trey, she's trying to get on your program.
Hey, when you right, you right. You know what can I say?
Hey, let me say this. Oh, Lost is back. Never mind. I was going to say.
So lost in translation. What are your thoughts, my brother?
You know what? Men, in essence, have two jobs in life: to be a protector and to be a provider. And as young men, they have to be taught how to do both. You know what I'm saying? How you spend your time with your kid is important. You know what I mean? Teach your kid how to make money, because that's what providers do. But also at the same time, you have to teach your kids how to be protectors too. And learning how to use weapons is an important part of that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The reason why he was curious about a gun was probably because he's never held one. He's not skilled in it. His dad probably never showed him, you know? The correct thing to do, like we talked about rites of passage, is to talk to him about the birds and the bees. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to protect yourself. You know what I mean? You just seed all of that good stuff because you're a man. Now, the second time, you got to teach him how to protect himself and how to protect his family. And if you're going to use weapons, you might want to take him down to the gun range. Teach him the importance of the weapon. Teach him the importance of manhood. You see what I'm saying? So my whole thing about that is to make sure that you take every opportunity that you have to teach your children. You know what I mean? As far as beating them up in front of TV and all this other stuff, I ain't never really been no fan of that. But at the end of the day, I can certainly understand a father's fear of catching your son doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. You know what I mean? That type of fear is a different type of fear. What if he'd have walked in on his son and he had his little brother in there and his dad scared him and he shot his little son by accident? That happens a lot. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, if he had taught him how to respect the gun, how to respect weapons, then he would know not to play with those. You see what I'm saying? And as far as, you know, the kids in the neighborhood or whatever, that's how we dealt with it, man. We, like JT said, go to the man's house and talk to the other kids' dads and say, hey, look, I found the kids with a gun, man. You know where they got it from. Let's find out exactly what happened. Because if they want to learn how to use weapons, we have to be as men and teach them. And say, hey, look, the importance of having a weapon and how to do things the right way. Because if you go about doing things the wrong way, it can land you in jail. You see what I'm saying? So how can you be a provider and a protector if you're in jail? It's like I said earlier, the best ability is availability.
Right.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Right.
Hey, Black man, can I?
Yeah,
I always got a question. Do we not do the fishing trip anymore?
Man,
My uncle took me out on a fishing trip. This was a all male fishing trip, and this wasn't no damn fishing trip. This was not about fishing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This was about teaching you about the birds and the bees, like Lost talked about, and about weapons. It's the first time I ever touched a gun was on that fishing trip.
Yep.
I wanted to point out something. You guys can go look this up if you get a chance, but I want to say it's China. These kids are maybe 7 or 8.
I saw the video.
They're in a classroom disassembling a rifle.
Yep.
And putting it back together.
That's how far behind we are here in America, because we have a tendency to prolong adolescence. We don't want these kids to grow up.
Right.
And the truth of the
part of
matter
that reason is the draft. I think we got rid of the draft in '74, but if you look at again the gym classes back then, the calisthenics, all the stuff they used to do back then,
all the kids were ripped.
Yeah, but they were preparing you
ripped.
because you had to go into military service at some point. So yeah, I think a lot of things changed when they got rid of the draft.
You know,
I also want to say
have communities, Mr. Bennett, that still teach their kids to go hunting and fishing too, with or without the draft. You know, it's one of those things where we like to glorify this gangster lifestyle,
right?
Instead of teaching responsibility with firearms.
Right. Exactly. And when I go to the gun show and buy guns, or I go get ammo, I'm standing in those lines. It's a sprinkle of black people, bro. It's probably about 4 or 5 people in that line, but the other 2,300 people wrapped around the fucking building are white people. These white dudes with their sons, they 14, 15-year-old sons, shit, they
Now,
come
why
in
do
there
you now,
buying
black man?
AK-47s, fucking, they buying every goddamn gun. You get the handguns.
Right.
Shit, they doing it. They
But
buying
black
them
man,
up.
why do you think? And anybody can that's an interesting segue. Why do you think that is? I think could it be fear? Because again, when we get caught with guns, we all know about again the system. The system comes after us hard. If we get or is it the fact that we've been affected or impacted by gun violence the most as well? Why do you think that is? That more just black people in general have a fear? I've never been around guns. I haven't grown up with it. I guess my brother, we never grew up in that environment. Even though our parents are from the South, we didn't learn how to. My grandfather knew how to shoot, but that. We just thought that was just a Southern thing. But in the urban centers, unless you were in the hood of the gangs, whatever. But as far as growing up in a culture of guns, we did not do that. But why do you think that is in general, that black people aren't really joining gun clubs and having that as a part of that culture?
Crazy.
They think that is immoral to have a gun. If you think about it, it's normally people that follow up under their grandmother's tutelage, right? It's immoral. It's dangerous. If you seen the people that will vote against, we need to have more gun laws. Who do you hear saying that? It would be, if they're black, it's going to be women, right? You very seldom will hear men. And then the thing is that they don't have any knowledge and weaponry, right? The thing is that the majority of people that own guns can't break their gun down. They have no idea of how many parts their weapon has, right? The other never clean their weapon, ever. So if they shoot it, it has a great chance of jamming on them, right? Then the other ones don't know how to carry. You have women that have weapons. They put it in a purse. They do things. They don't have holsters.
I told my wife that I catch that fucking gun in that purse. Me and you got some situations that are gonna be on the news. Get that motherfucker out that purse.
You got men having regular ass weapons. This is in Detroit. Is big where somebody would take. In Detroit, it's a big thing where a person be in a store.
Yeah.
And one of them little nitwits would come right down the side of them and pull a gun out of there and run.
Yeah.
Pull a gun and run because they don't have the right weaponry. They don't have the one that locks. They don't have. They got this bullshit where you just be like, wow. So it's more of a fear, right? When you see the people that have weapons, they don't have it for protection. They have it just in case somebody get on their motherfucking nerves and they can brandish it, or they can sit back and scare them and shit like that. Or if they have road rage, they can go ahead and put a case on themselves. They know nothing about laws. They know nothing about anything on handling, cleaning, and holstering a weapon. They know nothing about their state laws. You got so many adults that will go from one state to the next, not knowing that the other state that they go into, all they got to do is get stopped and they ass got a case on them because that state does not honor the state that you just came from.
I was going to tell y'all a quick story. One of the first shootings I ever worked. It's not really funny because the guy hurt himself, but one of the first shootings I ever worked was a guy who shot himself while he was cleaning his gun. And I remember I was trying not to laugh at this dude because he had a bullet hole in his leg, but at the same time I was laughing at him because you're an idiot. And one of the first things you're taught to do if you use your weapon properly, one of the first things you're always taught to do is to know the condition of your weapon. You need to know.
The chamber.
Well, no, not necessarily clear the chamber. Just know the condition of the weapon, right?
Right.
And if you know the condition of the weapon, then you can decide whether or not it needs to be cleared or not, right? If I'm getting ready to walk out the door, I may not clear it. But if I am going to clean it, it obviously needs to be cleared. And if you have weapons like Glocks, you can't clean the weapon unless you clear it. You have to clear it first. Right. Otherwise, you'll shoot yourself.
Right.
So to answer Mr. Bennett's question, I think a lot of this is just plain old ignorance. I think a lot of people in our community just don't understand the destruction that a weapon can actually have, not only just on humans, but just on property in itself. I look at this as a simple thing is, I think this has always been the case. I think of the slavery times, them guys is getting off them boats. They not coming with bows and arrows. They coming with weapons. Because if this was a fair fight, if this was spears versus spears, bows versus, it may not have gone down the way it went down.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they got off
Yeah.
the boat with heavy weaponry, and I always wonder, why didn't we have the same? And I look at it today, and I think some of that we still have some of the remnants of.
That's what I'm saying. Some of that fear or that
other,
trauma from
Right.
so we
Yeah.
stay away from it. But I want to hear from
here's
Arpine
the
because I
thing.
know
Here's the thing. You can have black people can have weapons. I don't know where this fear of you can't have a weapon has come from.
Right.
I have stopped hundreds of black people who were legally allowed to have a weapon and nothing happened to them.
Yep.
All they did was they followed the law. Hey, I got my handgun on me. It's right here. It's loaded. All right, cool, bet. Bang, bang, boom. We do the paperwork, da-da-da-da, and you on your way.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But when you hear a case like
Trey,
Philando Castillo,
who
had a legal weapon, told the cop.
But that's the media working.
Mm-hmm.
That's media working. You're telling me one. I just told you I've done hundreds of stops.
Understood. I'm not.
You know what I mean? Like that's the media.
I'm just saying, but that
you
it's
can
still
be black
fear-based,
and you
right?
can have it legally, and you still might get shot.
Right.
How many times does that happen?
Right. But it's a
the
powerful.
millions of traffic stops that happen with people who have weapons.
Right.
I'm not excusing the behavior.
Right. Sure.
In my opinion, it's a murder. I'm not excusing the behavior.
Right.
But I'm saying more often than not, when you are stopped with a weapon and you tell the police officer, "Hey, I'm licensed to carry. I am carrying. It's on my right side. It's on my strong side. It's on my hip. It is loaded." They know how to deal with that. We were taught how to deal with that. That's not an everyday occurrence. And black people aren't getting shot because they have weapons. Let me tell you where black people get shot. Black people get shot because they play games.
Now Trey, let me say this, Trey. My son was with my oldest boy was with me. He was probably 10 at the time, 9 or 10. And I bought a trailer where the police pulled me over after I purchased the trailer. And he came up and to the window and he said, "Sir, where's this trailer come from?" I said, "I just bought it. I have the buyer's order right here, sir." He said, "This trailer looks like a trailer that was stolen." I said, "Sir, let me say it again. I got the buyer's order to the trailer. I just bought it this morning. I have it right here. Sir, step out of the vehicle." I said, "Officer, I did what Trey said. Officer, I do have a firearm on me." He said, "Step out the vehicle. Keep your hands where I can see them." Cool. I got the vehicle. When I stood up out that vehicle and he looked up at my 6'2" ass, he said, "I need back up." Right? And she said, he looked up at me, he said, "Shit, bullshit." He said, "I need back up." And that motherfucker, and he said, these were his words, Trey. He said, "If you fucking move, I'll blow your fucking brains out." He said, "Move, try me and see what happened." And I'm looking over at my son. I say, "This motherfucker." And I just told my son was crying like a mother. I say, "Jabbar, just chill out." I said, "Ain't nothing gonna happen to daddy. Just chill out." In my head, I'm enraged. I want to grab this motherfucking wrangling. But at the same time, he's like, "I didn't do nothing for you to say that in front of my son. If you move, I'm blow your motherfucking head off. Don't even move. Try me and see what happens."
Damn.
That's what he told me. I was like, wow. So maybe I intimidated him because when I stood, everything was good until I stood up. When I exited the vehicle, shit, he said, "Fuck this. Yeah, I can't fuck with this big grizzly bear motherfucker."
It was the braids, black man.
Right?
Black man, let me ask you this though.
It was the braids.
Black man,
you had to cut them braids off.
I ain't having locks then. I didn't have locks.
Black man, what happened after the traffic stop?
So after the traffic, he said, I gave him
no. After black man, after meaning he's gone.
Me?
Yeah, what happened after the traffic stop? The traffic stop is over. You on your way. What happened?
Yeah, I went home. I talked to my son.
And that's my problem.
Yeah.
That is my issue right there with us. When you have officers that are out here doing bullshit like that, you cannot let that just slide. Because he's going to do it to the next person.
Right.
You have to go handle that. If you can afford a lawyer, go get one.
Right.
If you can't, contact the ACLU and all these private organizations that will work for free. Right. Tell somebody that you have an officer who is threatening, because you're not taught to say, "I'll blow your head off." Nobody's taught that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now what I would have said to you is, please don't do anything stupid. That's what I would have said to you.
Right.
Don't do anything stupid. You're allowed to have your weapon. I don't want to infringe on your constitutional rights.
Right.
But if you do something stupid, I'm gonna be forced to use lethal action. Now I would have said something along those lines, just to send a reminder to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if we have these officers that are out here that are doing dumb shit like that, and I don't want to get off the topic. I know we're on a different topic, but I'm telling you, as black people, stop letting it slide. Go raise hell about it. Raise hell about it. And that way, and if you have to sue the department, because I told you guys a million times. You know when we got changed general orders? It was after lawsuits. It was after lawsuits. We would get these new general orders. Hey, you can't do this no more. Hey, you can't do that no more, because the department got sued.
Right.
Stop just saying it's okay. I went home. I did it. No, don't allow them to do that, because that's wrong.
Exactly. I appreciate that, man. R-Pain.
Yeah, I want to get his perspective in terms of, like, did you grow up with guns or gun culture? Was that something that you
He lived in the big urban centers like New York, where the gun laws were crazy. Nobody had guns. Nobody had guns. Except the criminals, right? So we didn't have any. What's so funny, man?
Yeah,
back in the day, you used muskets.
Slingshots.
You used muskets back in the day.
They said you had slingshots.
He had to carry them
little bags of gunpowder.
He had all them little bags of gunpowder.
We didn't have those either. We didn't have those either. Man.
Our pain said, General Washington, your gun's ready.
He had a slingshot. He was like,
you know what, man?
Commander Payne.
I loaded that.
Like that scene out of Glory. Gotta get up 6 shots in a minute. Faster.
Hey, they didn't call them rifles back then. They just called them muskets. Hey, JT, remember? Hey, JT, did you have to put the bayonet on your rifle? Did it he had the bayonet on the end, the little knife on the end, just to stab somebody.
Yeah, so I was wondering what BMU was so anxious to give me the mic and shit, man. So you can get this shit on.
Hey, you got
a goddamn minute here. I'm gonna get your ass in a minute. Hold on.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
Stay right there.
Well, I mean, other than the gangs, right? There was no real.
One more R-Pain. Can you imagine R-Pain loading the musket and they arguing with R-Pain? He said, "Wait, goddamn minute! Motherfucker's almost loaded, you son of a bitch!"
Poor R-Pain.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
Listen, ain't no point. These guys are full of shit, man. I don't care.
It's the use on the gun line.
You wait
boss.
right there.
Hurry up with that gun.
Hey, Lost, tell them about the gun line, boss.
Tell them about the gun line, boss.
Confederate push.
Willing.
R-Pain, I wouldn't be putting up with this shit.
That's all right. When I get my turn, don't worry. There'll be no holds barred. So I'll get my turn sooner or later. But anyhow, listen, in New York City, we didn't need guns. If you were in a gang, you got them. But there was no gun culture. Nobody wasn't going hunting. I don't think that had a racial component to it, even though they would come down. If you had got caught with an illegal gun in New York, you did time.
Yeah.
You did some serious time, man. So, so I think it depends on where you are. In the South, I think the black people had guns just as much as anybody else.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, I just think it's where you are located. Blue cities and blue states with the crazy ass gun laws, New York, New Jersey, probably California. You're not going to have a lot of people like that. In the red states, they were a lot more liberal with the Second Amendment and stuff like that. That's how I think it is. So, so I don't really have much to say about guns. All I know is that I think everybody in the household needs one.
Absolutely, brother. All right, now I'll say this. Now, thank you guys for being here again tonight. I'm going to show this video. I had two more, but I'm going to show the last one. Because the subject of the night is that Jailbird is winning. And I want you to have the different conversations, but end it with the title tonight. And I want y'all to see what this young lady is saying about Jailbird. Men in jail are desired more than men who are successful. Here we go.
Rap one. Dudes that's on the streets, y'all gotta step y'all game up. Y'all are losing to these dudes that's in the damn prison system, okay? I was on TikTok last night and I ran across a live. It was like 4 dudes that was in the feds. So I just tapped in to be nosy to see what they were talking about. Do y'all know it was thousands of girls on there, like being so fucking thirsty, asking these locked up dudes, "Oh, what's your JPay? I want to send you some money. I want to come see you. I want to be your pen pal."
I've been telling y'all, I've been making hella videos about this shit. They want the bad guys. They don't want the nice 9-to-5 guy. No, they want the piece of shit. They want the guy who doesn't want them. They want the guy who treats her like garbage. Straight up. Why? Because it's exciting. It's exciting. The 9-to-5 guy who she knows will never leave, it's boring.
Thoughts, Mr.
I want
Bennett?
to hear from Anissa on this one. When
Oh
you
yeah.
get
Go ahead, Anissa.
Yeah, because she looked like that lady was a CNA or something, man. You know, over to the hospital.
And this about to surprise all y'all. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I got me a jail nigga right now.
Believe it or not.
He just got out. He just got out last week.
I got a JPay account.
Yeah,
I do.
I missed most of the video because there was a lag on it. I have never been able to understand women that want prison guys, and that baffles me completely and utterly. You know why that's even a thing, but I think it's crazy. I think it's
she said
absolutely
thousands of women
that you
are
would choose
sending
that
these
guy
men.
over a guy that's available.
Thousands of these
I'm
women
sorry.
are sending these men money, pen pals, even marrying them while they're
Crazy.
in prison.
Just wait till Tron get home. Come on, Mr.
There's
Bennett.
something wrong with those women. There's something wrong with those women, but the only thing I can think of is they just feel confident that they know where those men are. Like, you know where he is. He ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You know where he is every day. You know where he is every night. You just have, that they have control over, and that they know. That's the only reasonable thing I can think. Other than that, obviously, there's something wrong with the women. Their self-esteem
He
is
can't cheat
low,
on you in the
and
jailhouse, huh?
they got issues. I've never been able to understand that ever.
Well, hopefully, Mr. Bennett can
That's an
shed some light on
absolute
this.
no.
Mr. Bennett.
Yeah, I don't know if this happened in mass. Now, the first video you showed with all those ladies with the degrees and going to school and whatnot, I don't think those women are going for those kind of guys.
Shit.
But certainly not in mass, but certainly I think the ones who are from the street, from the hood or whatever. Again, these are the guys they went to high school with. These are the guys who they know, and they were the alpha male, so to speak, in their environment and whatnot. So they know these guys. So I think that's mostly if there's going to be any population that's pursuing that, is going to be them. But I think if a sister's about her business or even if it's just career only, I don't think she's that's not the type of man that's going to be her ideal. Not for a long-term partner anyway. So I don't see that happening in mass. I mean, even the woman in the video, she looked like she may have came from an environment like that. So I don't see that happening in mass. Not in a look, some fantasy stuff. You want your jail fantasy guy or whatever, but not for a long term.
Mr. Bennett, I want to remind you of something. You remember we had that show that day where the lady came on. She had her hair pulled back, pretty much like Anissa's. Anissa's hair is prettier, but more pretty. But remember she came on. She said, "I make 6 figures. I have a 6-bedroom house, right? And I know her, right? I know her through my sister-in-law."
Mm-hmm.
And remember that night she said, "I make 6 figures, but I can't control." I'm gonna go back and find this show and clip it. She said, "But I can't control it. The fact that I love incarcerated men."
I think she might lust for incarcerated men. Like I said,
Yeah,
I mean,
she said he'd come
I said
over and
like a sexual thing. You may have like some desire for that sort of thing, but again, not for a long term. I mean,
you're right. They're not gonna marry him.
Again, and if she is making 6 figures, she's not dependent on she's not necessarily depending on the guy's money because he doesn't have any. So to me, it's just a sexual fantasy thing more so anything else.
Exactly. And I think most of that's what it is, Mr. Bennett. I think it's the fact that even Gabrielle Union said before she got with Dwayne Wade, she said her bucket list was to sleep with a man who just got out of prison who played the video games all day. She said she wanted one of those. She
Yeah,
said it on
that's grounds
camera.
on divorce.
She
That's grounds on
said it.
divorce. You tell me some shit like that, I'm divorcing
She
your
said
funky
it
ass.
out of her own
So,
mouth.
so she wanted a man that's going to ask her, is her booty hole brown?
Right. She said that, and she said her friends was like, "Girl, you really want to do that? He ain't got nothing to offer you." She said, "Baby, I don't want nothing but that D. That's it." And so she said that, and then Jasmine Sullivan did an entire album called Hotels, called Ho, spelled Ho, on her album, and she talked in her album about sleeping with men who made it. She said a guy don't even have to have a job. He can be living with his mom and be a complete snob. She said, as long as he see me and I come to see him and he give me that D, I don't care.
Yeah.
But is this any different than like back in the day when the white lady on the plantation got with the Mandingo dude? Again, latent fantasy that she just needed to, and it wasn't so much part that he might have been black and endowed or whatever, but also just the idea of being with a bad guy or a bad boy or something like that. I don't know.
I think
People
it's a
just
little
have
bit
those
more
kind of
deeper.
twisted fantasies like that.
But he's not a bad guy, and he's not.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying in her mind. In her mind.
I'm saying these jailbirds are not bad guys and not bad boys
At all.
They're stupid because they got caught.
Yeah. They right. They're the losers.
You are literally picking the worst men on the planet. Those are the ones you choosing. Let me make something abundantly clear, crystal clear, brilliantly clear. Stupid. Jailbirds will never be winning over men like us. Never.
At all.
Never.
Come on, talk your talk, boy.
You cannot beat me, sir, because I have lived a better life than you have. I have done it the right way, the proper way. I've never been to jail. I've never even been arrested.
Shit, I can't say that.
So don't sit here and tell me that they are winning. They're not winning. Sir, you got to go beg somebody. There's only certain companies you can work at. There's certain companies, and they have to be on this list. And this list is of the companies that allow convicts.
Waffle House.
You have a moniker that will follow you for the rest of your life. And it ain't doctor, it ain't esquire, it ain't veteran, it's convict. Sir, you ain't winning. Get out of here with that. And the women that want you, they're losers too. Because here's a problem. Let me make something very clear. Here's a problem. We don't tell women enough, you're a loser too. If men can be losers, you're a loser too. You're picking loser ass men, that's because you're a loser. So y'all go together.
Right. You got the right motherfucker. You got what you deserve.
You want bottom of the barrel? Guess what? Bottom of the barrel deserves bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even pay attention. And this is why I keep saying to men, you have got to ask better questions. Have you ever dated a convict? Have you ever been with a man that's been to jail? And if she's saying yes, she bottom of the barrel, cut her loose. She don't have no standards on her life because the men that she dealt with, he ain't got no standard on his life.
Let's go. Yeah.
You're never going to
share
win.
a quick story.
But you know,
I told y'all. What I tell y'all? She was gonna tell us. She about to confess. Go ahead, Alyssa. I'm all listening. I'm all listening.
I was about to pick your pocket, but go ahead.
Not me. But
They got bad boys.
no, years ago I had actually she was my neighbor and a really good friend of mine, and I had to end the friendship because she was my neighbor. She was married, great husband. She was a housewife. He took care of everything for her. In some kind of way, she ended up getting into writing letters to someone that was in jail, and actually just like really went goo goo gaga over this guy. I thought that was like the dumbest shit I had ever seen. Like, this man is like in jail. You have a husband who loves you, who takes care of you. You don't have to work. You're a full-time housewife, and you have fallen in love with someone in jail.
That's the shit we be talking about, and this is that you be trying to save.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I was like I can't even like be friends with you because I don't even understand. Like how
she ain't friend worthy. She need to be by her damn self. Think about the shit she need to think about the shit that she's doing.
Now Trey, I want to ask you a question real quick. Trey, do you remember a guy named what's the fuck his name? Jeremy Meeks?
Yeah, the model.
Right? That motherfucker went to
They
jail.
went nuts. They went nuts over
They
him.
went to jail. They released that motherfucker mugshot. The females went nuts.
Crazy. Yep.
When he got out of prison, they signed him to a fucking modeling deal that was like $3 million, $4 million, or some shit like that.
Yep.
And now he's still doing the runaway to this day.
And he's still a loser.
Yep.
And still a fucking loser. You're a fucking model.
And I mean this.
And he got with a wealthy white woman.
He got with a wealthy white
He
woman.
got
They
with
still
a
married to this day.
wealthy young white woman. I could not believe it.
Yeah.
What we will see is we will see the one-off. We'll see the anomaly. And so people will think that this is a common occurrence. Let me tell you what the common occurrence is for convicts. They struggle when they get out.
Yep.
Right? To find somewhere to live, getting employment, right? They struggle. You're not going to be Jeremy Meeks. He happened to have good bone structure. It worked out for him.
Right.
Okay. But majority of the convicts that get out, they struggle. And they live with this stigma of being the bad guy. You know how many times I've stopped somebody and the first thing out of their mouth is, "Come on, man, I just got out." Yeah, because they already know what time it is.
Yep.
They know what time it is. You ain't supposed to have no interactions with the police. Right? This idea, and this is where I get frustrated because us as men just don't even entertain these women. If she thinks that a jailbird is winning, that says more about her than I can ever do.
Yeah.
Because a woman, in my opinion, who's classy, dignified, elegant, intelligent, she would look at a jailbird and go, "Oh, hell no. You can't even stay out of jail? No, thank you." I would much rather deal with that woman. But I'll be honest with you, for a lot of guys, they're also intrigued by this type of woman who has that mentality. The same mentality that likes the jailbird, a lot of guys like that woman.
Yeah.
It's a nasty thing, man. It's a nasty thing.
But this is the thing too. If you guys have never seen it, there's a show called Life After Lockup. Love After Lockup.
That's a crazy ass show.
Crazy.
And it's based, and so you got a lot of these sites, these websites that connect these women that are looking for convicts that are doing time. Now, if you've ever watched Life After Lockup, you will see these women will be having 7 and 6 and 10 years of a relationship with these dudes while they are locked up. They would be putting money on their books. The thing is that they're the hustle. These guys are hustling these women because these women be thinking they're the only ones that's putting money on these dudes' books. No. The best thing in the world that ever happened to the fucking penal system, pause, was the fact that they gave these convicts access to the outside world. They finessing these women, and the women want to be finessed. The reason is, Anessa said it earlier. They know that motherfucker ain't going nowhere. He gonna be right there. They know what time he going to bed. They know what the fuck he's eating. They know what conversation he had. They know everything about his damn day. But as soon as that man gets out, 6 months out, it's over with. You know why? She can't keep up with his ass. He done found out the other bras that was he hooking up with them. This motherfucker done got a buddy that was inside with him that's hooking him up with a job. They don't even want the man to have a job. It's so bad where you just be like, damn. Because a lot of one of the things I learned about that show was that them goddamn dudes that come out that's really serious about staying the fuck out, they actually end up being very good, productive citizens. They got trucking businesses. They got they cutting grass. They doing something. These dudes is really doing something. The ones that don't, they either die or they go back to prison. The craziest part about that, a lot of these dudes go back to prison. Why? Because that damn woman that was having that 7 and 6 year relationship with him got pissed off at him, knowing his ass is on fucking parole, and they get into a fucking argument. Guess what the fuck she end up doing? Calling the police on his ass, send his ass right back to fucking prison.
And you think, and they think they all like this, bro. That's Jeremy Meeks right there.
Yeah.
And his
he just had good genes on his side. That was what that was.
She worth so much goddamn money it make your damn toes curl. I'm telling you. So everybody think they can be Jeremy.
But you don't think that he don't look at her like she ain't shit? Man, let me tell you something about us men. When
She
we in a
ugly
finesse
too.
game,
Hell yeah,
we'll
she
finesse
is.
the shit out your ass. And in the back of our mind, we like, I'm going to get what I need to get out of her. Because she ain't shit. Once I get up, once I get my shit where I need to go, I'm disappearing. See, when you got men that know how to finesse and they disappear, these niggas ain't announcing that they leaving your ass. You go to work, you come back, he took all his shit and your shit, and he moved to a whole different state. That's how these women end up getting finessed. And then they get mad and upset. You just dated a damn convict. And then the motherfucker specifically went to jail for B&Es and robbery. You didn't think he would rob your ass? That's crazy. They ain't winning. They would never win. Like Trey say, you can't win. You behind me in life. You about 30 years behind me in life. You can't catch up. By the time you catch up with me, I'm dead and you got goddamn whatever it is. You on dialysis or something. You getting ready to die.
So can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, there is a I thought I was muted, but I'm looking at another screen right now. They say there is a mental illness, a name for it, for women who want convicts. It's called hybristophilia. It says the sexual interest in an attraction to those who commit crimes and those who are imprisoned.
You just told me something. I didn't know there was a
there's a
definition.
It's a mental condition. It's called hybristophilia.
That can get real dark.
That's crazy.
You know how many women fell in love with Charles Manson?
Real dark.
Paige and Dr. Nakumbe.
Right. Damn, that shit can get real dark, man.
How many again romantic fantasies that are out there? Even Tarzan, right? Jean was like from upper class society or whatever, and she gets with him, and they just build that dynamic of, oh, he's a savage. You know what I mean? So I don't think this is necessarily new. This has always been, some people just want that, you know, that thrill, I guess.
But it's really, I think it should never be that they would do it. If you see the abuse that a lot of these men, when they get out of prison, the abuse that they get from these women, I'm talking about especially when they on parole and probation, they get abuse. You had a dude that cried because he ate, he had a pick of food. I'm gonna end this, black man, I got you. He had a pick of food. He could have got anything he wanted to, right? I can't remember where I seen this at, but he was in the airport. Just got out of prison. He going in the airport. Buffet, he can get all kind of shit. And he could have got anything. That man went to the doggone store and got some Lay's potato chips. He been eating Lay's potato chips all while he was locked up for 15 years. That man cried. He said, I could have had barbecue chips. I could have got something. He said, man, I went, and he just started crying. I went right there, and all I got was some damn Lay's potato chip because I was scared to try something new. The psychological warfare and conditioning that happens with these men, see, a lot of people don't talk about that. And then they have these women that would sit back and put them right back in prison. You can't hang with your friends. You can't do shit. Why you ain't doing something? Why you ain't found a job? Why you ain't? And they abuse these men. So it does go to, Anissa, you was really on to something. They will have a long relationship with these men. I'm talking about 10, 15 years. It's not because they doing time. You ain't doing time with him. Unless you take your ass behind those bars, you ain't doing no fucking time with him because you putting $50 on his JPay. Because you got him, you sending him a coat or some goddamn socks. That ain't doing time for him. You out here because you can't make it out here in the real world. You can't cut it out here in the real world. That's why you want to be in prison by being on the phone with him, talking about what his day was. It's every day. It's the same thing he did yesterday. It's the same thing he doing today. He know exactly what the fuck he gonna do.
Now I will say this though, JT, that I'm telling you what's going to happen. But I'm glad the chat looking it up. They looked up the definition and put the word in there. They said this shit is crazy. So now, is it more of a fantasy now that we know it's a mental illness?
No.
Look, we know that certain types of women have crazy fantasies, right?
Right.
I mean, we know that there's an actual business of men who fulfill great fantasies for women. That's an actual business, a real
Right,
thing.
right, right.
That's why I said it's gonna get dark.
We know that women have some of the wildest fantasies. Men have some
Embrace the
weird
grace. You wink at us.
Men have some
Y'all
weird
missing
kinks, but women have some very deep, dark, twisted things, and they've proven this through trials and stuff, and what arouses women versus what arouses men, and whatnot and whatnot. I think this idea, again, I didn't know it was an actual thing. I didn't know there was a thing about it. I'm going to call it what it is. If they're saying it's a mental illness, I'm going to go with mental illness. And I'm going to stick with mental illness. I'm not going to say that it's a fantasy. I'm going to say that if you look at the lifestyle that a lot of these women grew up with, they've seen a lot of convicts growing up, right? They could have been their uncles or brothers or their dad or something like that. And so somewhere along the line, they think that, I don't know if this is cool or maybe they're aroused by it, or I'm not sure. Again, I never understood the bad boy thing, because bad boys don't get caught, right? So I've never understood it. Bad boys always had a way of talking their way out of things, right? You know, they had a sort of a smoothness to them to be able to get it. That's what made them the bad boy, because they never got in trouble, but they were always in trouble, I guess. It's the right way to say it. But I'm going to go with mental illness.
You know what? I'm going to tell y'all something. All y'all wrong. And y'all ain't been paying no attention. Let me tell you something. As the resident silver-tongued devil, y'all don't pay attention. When y'all start mentioning these guys in jail, did y'all notice the corners of Anissa's mouth that is turned up as the fantasy raced through her mind? Did you see the corners of Embrace the Grace lips as they mention these guys from the prison? You know what I'm saying? Y'all, here's y'all problem, man. Y'all listen to what women say instead of watching what their bodies say.
Now we married, man. We
don't
paying
care.
attention to our wives' bodies, man. I'm not looking at racist lips or whatever.
Some of that C block 22, 23 inch.
So that's how you know you can read minds, when you can watch body language. They will sit up there and tell you, yes, because it's
tell you something.
If I was single, maybe I'd be
political
on you,
thing
man.
to say
I'm
on
out the
YouTube.
game, man.
As much as I have said on here that I want to provide a man, I would never deal with no jailbird that can't get a job. Have you lost your mind?
Vanessa, why
Yeah, but that's what age. But you said on the last show, you said on the last show that you used to hang like the bad boys back in the day. So
You just started trouble in these. It was too quiet in here, so.
And this at 25, I don't know.
It's at 25. Darren and Cell Block C was getting that thing.
Let me tell you something.
In all my years, I have never, ever even thought about that. Never, ever.
It's okay, Anissa. I understand. Let me tell you something. I understand. You ain't got to tell nobody. If nobody else knows, I know, baby. You know what I'm saying? Look how hard she's smiling. Look at Embrace the Grace. Look at them teeth. Women will tell you. Listen, women's mouth will tell you one thing. But baby, let me tell you something. Look at them hands.
Mouths, man.
Our pain know I'm telling the truth. Our pain know I'm telling the truth. Our pain know how to read them. You know what I'm saying? He knows. That's why I know.
No.
Oh yes. Tell the truth. Listen. I ain't trying to put y'all business out there. I ain't trying to put y'all business out there. I'm just telling you, your body is telling on you. You know what I'm saying? It's telling on you.
Lost, stop. Just stop.
Look, it lost.
That might be a good off ramp.
Embrace it. Embrace the rocking.
For real, guys. I'll see you guys.
As soon as they showed them, I'm quiet. I watch. As soon as they put the picture up there, here
That's
go
what
Anissa
you doing,
right
Lost?
I'm talking about tomorrow night. I'm not talking about.
Anissa had her hands up there like she finna take an Olin Mills picture, like the little baby. Oh my.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah, man, she know I'm telling the truth, but that's all right. Your secret's safe with me, baby. I already know what you like. Go ahead. I know what you like.
We know what you like.
Let me tell y'all something real professionals know. Let me tell you, you can trick everybody else on YouTube, but I assure you ain't finna trick me. I've heard so many stories.
Even Embrace said, "Where did you get that man from on your thumbnail? A prison." Embrace, look at Embrace. I'm looking at your face right now, Embrace.
First of all, I don't do red. Okay, y'all know my favorite
Look at
color is
this.
blue.
This
So
turn our camera off.
he already gone for that, but he has a nice physique. I could admire the physique.
They had to turn the camera off, y'all.
I'm here. I ain't scared. I ain't never
Let
scared.
me tell you something. I see the corners of your mouth. You can fool everybody else, but you ain't finna fool
Just
me.
saying enough.
Lost. Stop.
And this will start touching herself and turn her camera off.
You
So,
can fool
you know.
anybody else, but you ain't finna fool me.
Yeah, you can't fool us. Look at Embrace. Mm-hmm.
You can't fool.
Stop.
Smile. Look at. Hold on.
Now they're getting on me, Arpain. I've been so quiet here, listening.
Watch this, Loss. Embrace. I'm going to count to 5, and by the time I get to 1, you're going to smile for that convict. 5.
Stop. I'm already smiling. You're making me laugh. How can I not laugh?
Let me explain something to you. Some of us don't have problems with getting ladies. You know what I'm saying? Some of us have problems keeping them off us because we know what we're doing.
What was his name?
Who?
You know, them prisoners have names. With Strawberry
his name
Johnson.
was probably Tron or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Sea Salt Cinnamon Ball Julius. Come on.
I date cops and military personnel. I have a fantasy with a police officer. That's my fantasy.
Oh, you like to be locked in the back of a police car with your ass tooted up in the front seat.
And get arrested and read my Miranda rights.
That's right.
Okay, all right.
You got to
See, I wasn't gonna say that with Trey in the room because you know then y'all would have really put it together. But that's
whoa, Trey. Let me call Trey right now.
Oh, stop it.
To me. But you know what?
Look, let me tell you something. That's the main reason why Anissa ran, because she knew I was telling the truth. She can take it no more. She can take it no more. And you know who caught it for real? Arpain caught it for real because he knew exactly what I was talking about. It take a player to know a player. Ain't that right, Arpain?
Lost.
You know what,
JT, can you come save me from the boys? They over here. Come on.
I used to do this to Mandrell. Back in the day, I used to do this to Jedi Mike. Back in the day, I used to do this to a whole lot of people when I first started. And I'm not going to stop tonight just because I haven't done it in a while. So let me give just a moment to
Oh, hell.
I just wanted to take some time to have a conversation, after dark conversation. Listen to me. You know, Embrace the Grace she's blushing. You know, Embrace the Grace. You know, I will bring everybody back up. I just want to hear you say it.
What?
Good evening. You didn't get a chance to say it earlier. Good evening, Zaddy. Go ahead one time.
Are you gonna clip me? Is that what you're trying to do right now?
I just want to hear you say it because you know, like you said, kings need to be revered, and so I want you to reverence the King JT, King JT, son of King JT of Detroit. Go ahead.
Is this my initiation? Is this what this is?
That's what it is. Come on, baby. Go ahead. Speak to this
Good
man.
evening, Zaddy.
Say it again, please. I was in the way. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. Go ahead. You're gonna clip it. I know you are gonna clip it. Good evening, Zaddy.
Good evening, Mama. What's up?
Damn, that shit just gave me chills.
Y'all up here, I think.
Don't make me call your government name out, black man. I'm filthy. Yeah. He came back on quick.
Yes. Ooh, that was such a cute, necessary scene, burning like the fire behind me. My God. Hey, listen, so Embrace the Grace, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Zaddy, so much. Pause. Thank JT for being here.
It's always my pleasure.
Look, you know how to get that D-boy.
Women got game too, Lost. Okay, women got game.
Embrace, it get real cold in Detroit. Are you okay? You got a big enough jacket to stay warm?
He can come to sunny Florida. I keep him hot.
Oh, that's what I'm
Damn.
talking
Damn.
about. Yeah. Oh yeah. JT, JT, I'm looking.
I'm done.
That's gonna be the look too. I'm be like,
that's that work husband action.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm done. Y'all drop a cash out for this foolishness. I need to get my airplane ticket to go to Detroit.
You gotta get JT before Lupa get him. You gotta get him before Lupa get him. But thank you so much, Embrace the Grace, for gracing us with your presence on tonight. JT really enjoyed your presence here on the panel tonight.
I did.
He smiled. Yeah, he smiled the entire time he was on. I've never seen him smile like that.
Boy, you are an instigator.
Normally he has a serious face. He about to fight everybody. I have to text him. JT, smile a little bit, nigga. But tonight he just smiling from ear to ear. He's been like that for the last 3 weeks. What you think, Loss?
He can help himself, man. Last time I saw JT was up there talking about some. Is that who I think that is?
This is where I do my graceful exit. I'm done. Y'all all have a good night. Zaddy, you sleep well, okay?
Nah, you too.
See, Black man, I know what I be talking about. Let me tell you, a
Black
lot of
man, we
y'all
start all kind of shit, don't it?
Listen, a lot of y'all be capping, but some of us know what the hell they doing. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Ran
come
every
on,
woman
Loss,
off him. They turned 4-5 shades of red and got on up out of it because they knew I was telling the truth.
Come on.
They didn't call me a liar now, did they?
They didn't say you was lying.
They did not call me a liar.
I say, Nissa, I know what you like, Nissa. I say, what's the only bird that can't fly? She said, I don't know. I say a jailbird. Oh man, but thank y'all so much, man.
Welcome
we had
to
a
the
great
master
show again
class.
tonight, man. Embrace the Grace is still in the chat. She just love herself some chocolate. Look. Take a drink, nigga. She love herself some liquid thunder. We call that nigga the liquid thunder now.
She says she like chocolate. She says she like chocolate.
She liked chocolate. That's what she said. She said she liked it.
But she loves caramel.
She said she liked it next to her, on top of her.
That's the only time that I'm gonna refer to myself as chocolate when Anessa come up. I mean Anessa, god damn it.
Grace. She must be talking about you too, JT. She must be talking about you too behind the scenes.
No. That's Trey. That's all Trey, y'all. That's all Trey.
This seems like she the person that talked to you while she on top of you, though. Didn't I tell you you're gonna mow the
I'll bring you lemonade, but I'm not cutting no grass.
I got something for you to cut these hedges.
Mow these bushes.
Only on Black Man Unfiltered, y'all.
Yeah, Anissa looking back like this.
Man, we got no sense, man. None whatsoever.
The wine, she gonna say, wait a minute, I'm thirsty. She said the wine of the night is my poop.
It's called Sweet Bitch.
Ring my bell. Ring my bell.
Yeah, you ain't gotta go to the zoo. I got your snapper right.
These grapes was stomped on.
I hear JT. Wait, stop. Hold on, stop. Wait, wait. I'm confused. I thought we was going to
You get to speak Spanish and shit. God damn.
Y'all ignorant, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ooh, y'all crazy, boy. Ooh, y'all got my head hurting. As long as you start this shit.
Because I know what I be doing, man.
Oh,
let me tell y'all something. I just look handsome. You know, I'm handsome for real. From the inside out. You know what I'm saying? I know what I be doing. A lot of y'all talk a good game. I know what to do. I'm
telling you, man. Embrace gonna cook some food. I seen some food Embrace cook. I said, God.
Oh yeah.
She
can cook.
Just give me. I want to go try her food. But I think Embrace the Grace can cook. She gonna fuck around, had JT braiding her hair on Saturday mornings and shit.
Let me wash your hair, JT.
You ain't shit. You ain't shit, black man.
Someone let me braid your beard, JT. Come here.
JT gonna be in the end of the bed singing on Negro Spirit. Just calm when I am. Soon I will be done.
Braid, a beard all shining with luster silk. You know what I'm saying? Got his mane together. Looking like that line.
JT, you missed the spot. Sorry, mama. When you took a drink, she said, "That's JT taking a nervous drink." That's what she said.
A nervous drink? Nah, I don't take nervous drink.
Look. She said that's that nervous drink.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah.
I ain't never scared now. Quit playing with me now. Quit playing
Hey,
with me.
gentlemen, I'm calling it quits, but hey, this was a good night. So,
hey, R-Pain,
I gotta go get my I gotta get my 5 hours of sleep in, man. You know what I'm saying?
You better put 3 minutes aside. You got to go ahead and see Mama, boy. You what? 3.5 minutes. That's it.
I think JT gonna change the name of his show to "We Know How to Embrace." All right, man. I love y'all, man.
Don't forget tomorrow.
Yeah, go ahead, JT. Announce your show for tomorrow.
Yeah, don't forget tomorrow, man. I got a show 9:30. The name of the show is "So You Trying to Date with Your Rag Glass."
I love that. Yes,
that's gonna be it's gonna be going on, man. That's gonna be fire. Yeah. Hey, look, listen. If y'all ain't been there on Wednesday, man, I'm telling you, it'll be fire. Then I have my boy Trey with the floating head. He be over there, man. It'll be fire. Black man be back there just taunting the shit out of our ass too.
Oh man. Yeah, Angry Man said he love it, brother. Angry Man said he love it.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
But I appreciate you guys, man. You my brothers, man. You know I love you. And guys, make sure you tune into the sports show tomorrow, 7 Central. And then right after the sports show, the voice you will hear next will be that of JT from What We Know podcast. What we know how to embrace the grace. Tomorrow at 8:40. You know, at 8:45 tomorrow, Jay.
8:45.
8:45
Central. 8:40.
All right.
9:45. I always say 9:30, but you know, I always put that little time right there. But,
okay, no problem. All right, man. Well, we love y'all, man. Peace, and we out.
Peace out.